to represent Central Florida. You might expect me to talk about how climate change will impact our future. But as a Floridian, as a Florida man, I'm telling you that the climate crisis isn't some far-off threat. It is here. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance think they can divide us by saying this crisis is some type of hoax.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
That have been forced to rebuild after hurricanes destroyed their homes. I've heard the stories.
Not only can you take a load, you can take the ultimate load, and even better than that you find your true calling and destiny in your willingness to take the ultimate load.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals. Up yours.
They want everything.
They stopped Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Have it your way, buddy.
You sons of bitches.
Beta, I did everything right and they indicted me.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like.
We'll see who cancels who.
Hey, Maxwell Frost is on right now. I'm like a minute back, so I wanted to see this whole speech or show it to everybody since Maxwell Frost is pretty good. So let's watch. And then I'm sure once he's over, we can skip ahead a minute to whoever shitty person's next. I'm sure.
Yeah, this is one we want to see. So for sure. Good
Maxwell
plan.
Frost.
Let's go.
I'm Maxwell.
Good to see you guys, by the way.
It's been a
minute. Yeah, good to see you too, friend.
Member of my generation in Congress. I'm also proud to represent Central Florida. You might expect me to talk about how climate change will impact our future. But as a Floridian, as a Florida man, I'm here to tell you that the climate crisis isn't some far-off threat. It is here. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance think they can divide us by saying this crisis is some type of hoax. But I've walked the streets of communities that have been forced to rebuild after hurricane flooding destroyed their homes. I've heard the stories of immigrant farm workers made to work in horrid conditions exacerbated by this crisis. And I felt the scorching record heat and know that climate change can sometimes feel like an unstoppable force. But with our movement and with organizing and an administration that cares, we are making progress. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have proven that tackling this crisis creates jobs, that investing in clean energy protects our health, and that investing in mass public transit builds strong communities. And we must always remember that peace is essential to our climate and war destroys our environment. This election is about every drop of water that we consume and every breath we breathe. Fighting the climate crisis is patriotic. And unlike Donald Trump, our patriotism is more than some damn slogan on a hat. It's about actually giving a damn about the people who live in this country. Because when you love somebody, you want them to have clean air. When you love somebody, you want them to have safe drinking water. And when you love somebody, you want them to have a dignified job. And so, America, it's simple. Let's get to work and elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for our planet, for our future, for our present, and for our people. God bless.
That was really good.
He's the only Gen Z, right?
Ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, if y'all are ready to set that.
Short but sweet. I like it.
Oh, there's a little video. What's happening now?
You got to hit the live button if you want to catch up.
The White House last year, and I can tell you one thing before. It's been an honor for me to represent our country. It's an honor to support Kamala. So let's all do our part. God bless.
Got the Steph Curry endorsement. Okay.
Please welcome Democratic nominee for U.S. Congress in Alabama, Shamari Figures.
Did y'all hear Beyonce is the special guest, not George Bush?
Is that who it is?
Good evening,
Yeah.
America.
I was hoping it'd be like Bill Burr or something.
And
like out of left field.
Sweet home Alabama.
I think Beyonce is probably better for the ticket than Bill Burr.
No, I don't think so.
Running for Alabama.
Kamala's got the Beyonce vote already.
This is the district that gave America
Beyonce's
the
bigger than Bill
Tuskegee
Burr,
Airmen.
just as a person, though.
Rosa Parks.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Fred Gray.
But in terms of the voter, you
And
want
it is the birthplace of the
capture.
civil rights movement in Montgomery, Alabama. And of course, this district is home to Mr. Good Trouble himself, Congressman John Lewis. Look, my pathway to this stage was paved by a legacy of fighters. Fighters that include my mother, Alabama State Senator Vivian Davis Figures, who is here at her 11th DNC. And it also includes my father, my late father, Michael Figures, who was also a state senator and civil rights lawyer who sued the Klan into bankruptcy. Listen, all of America, all of us owe a debt to courageous freedom fighters, both known and unknown, a debt that can never be repaid. But what we can do is ensure that the work of those fighters who came before us continues, and that our sacred right to vote is always protected. Kamala Harris gets this. She's working to protect our freedoms every single day. And that's why she will sign into law the John Robert Lewis Voting Rights Act once it is introduced again by Congresswoman Terry Sewell. Listen, America, a California poet named Kendrick Lamar recently reminded us that sometimes we gotta pop out and show up. Well, America, it's time we pop out and vote. It's time we pop out from California to Alabama and all across America, and we show them that we are not going back, we are going forward, and we are going forward with Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States of America. Thank you, God bless you, roll tide, let's go win this thing.
Did you all see that Elizabeth Warren made a JD Vance couch reference?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know.
I feel like now it's dead because she did it, if I'm being honest.
I feel like it was already kind of dead, but
As I close out my segment tonight, I gotta
I'm
send a
out
quick
of
message.
joy. I can no
Madrecita
longer
querida, I love you.
pretend lib anymore. It's
Kamala
completely
Harris
drained.
and
It's
Tim
drained from my
Walz
body.
The lib,
understand
the
what
lib has
everyday
been
Americans are going
I can't.
exercised
Yeah, it's been
from-
lifted. It's been
Unlike
exercised.
Donald Trump,
So
they
that joke just
actually
run its
grew up
course.
in
It's just like, all right.
families where every
Yeah.
dollar mattered, where everything was earned and nothing was handed to them. Our next speaker knows something about that too. Please welcome my dear friend, our fellow Texan, our next senator, Representative Colin Allred.
We really haven't seen much from this guy when it's fairly close. Like, I hope he's
within
got
like
a good
2%.
campaign.
I saw a poll today. Within 2% of
I didn't
Ted
know.
Cruz. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope we're not hearing
Okay,
from him
that'd be
because he
really
has a
funny.
really solid ground game and he's knocking on doors, but I feel like he's been kind of
Hey, everybody.
absent nationally.
I'm Colin Allred, a congressman from Dallas, dad to two perfect little boys. And this November, I'm going to beat Ted Cruz.
Oh, awesome. Seems infinitely more normal than Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
I'm so proud to be here.
Which isn't
It's not hard,
difficult, though.
No, not difficult at all.
Kamala Harris. You know, like Kamala, I was raised by a single mom. Mom was a public school teacher who often worked 2 jobs to make ends meet. So when we talk about lowering costs, I think about the times when we went to the grocery store when I was growing up and swiped the debit card and said a little prayer. But my mom and my community in Texas gave me a chance to chase my version of the American dream. I played football at Baylor and in the NFL before becoming a civil rights lawyer and representing my hometown in Congress. Now I'm the guy who's going to turn Texas's Senate seat blue
It's open.
Yeah.
You know, in the NFL, we had a term for guys like Donald Trump and my opponent, Ted Cruz. Me guys. You know the type.
I love how Americans need everything explained in sports. Everyone's got like a sports metaphor to explain something.
The truth is, America has never been about me. As President Obama said, the single most powerful word in our democracy is the word we. We the people.
Oh, I thought it was
We
the same
shall
Nintendo
overcome.
Wii.
Yes, we can.
No, they don't make video game metaphors. Just
we've
sports.
got a message
Not
for the
yet.
me guys.
Once Gen Z starts getting it off more often. Than
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
We will protect and
We'll get the
restore
Dark Souls
reproductive freedom.
references.
We will secure the border.
You got to do Crazy Taxi.
We'll protect
Just
Medicare and
between
Social
walls.
Security. We'll turn the page and write a new chapter for this country. And let Kamala Harris be the next president and beat Ted Cruz. Thank y'all so much. God bless you. And may God bless Texas.
It is funny though, Lance, that you point out. Like, I can't think of an example. I'm sure it's happened, but where a Canadian politician uses like sports hockey metaphors while running.
Hockey I've heard.
Did they do
I've
that?
Definitely heard hockey before. Yes, yeah, and it's just as cringe as it sounds. The hockey ones are just very like, oh, I know.
Okay, I haven't. It's not really as much of a consistent thing though as I.
No. It's not like this. Like I think 1 in 4 people at some point have either referenced coaching because Tim Walz is a coach, right? So they've done some kind of court or just a football or sports reference. You know?
Yeah, high school sports is generally just bigger in the U.S.
And our daughter Anaya. 2 years ago, a miscarriage nearly killed me. At 16 weeks, my doctors told me to prepare for a stillbirth. I needed care, but my state's abortion restrictions kept it from me. I miscarried in a bathroom. I'll never forget my husband's face as he tried to stop the bleeding, trying to do what doctors should have been doing. When I reached the hospital, I'd lost nearly half the blood in my body. I can't change the past, but we can choose a different future.
I'm Craig Sicknick, and this is my mother, Gladys. My brother was a U.S. Capitol Police officer, Brian Sicknick, a hero who died after defending our country on January 6th. My family knows how dangerous Trump is. He incited the crowd while my brother and his fellow officers were putting their lives at risk. We need a real leader, not an autocrat who is stuck in the past. Brian, we miss you every day.
I'm Gail DeBoer. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 11. Stressing about insulin cost has been a constant in my life. President Biden and Vice President Harris have moved mountains to help. Medicare can finally negotiate prescription drug prices. Insulin is capped at $35 for Medicare recipients. And when elected, Kamala Harris plans to extend that cap to the rest of us. That's the future I want. That's the future I am voting for.
Isn't that like a Bernie Sanders victory more than anyone?
Yeah, he definitely.
I'm Wani
he
Romero,
pushed for that.
owner and CEO of Mothership Coffee in Las Vegas. I put in work to build my business. When COVID hit, this administration's support kept us moving. I hired staff and we grew. We've more than doubled in size since the pandemic, and it's just not us. Over the last 4 years, 19 million new business applications have been filed. Like Trump, I grew up in Queens. But unlike him, I built my business with grit. That's my story.
What's your business, though,
That's
before I
the
applaud
American
you?
story. Let's turn the
I also like
page
this is
on
the second time
Trump.
I've heard grit used tonight.
Yeah.
True grit.
I'm Eric Fitz, and these are my sons, Christian and Carter. I always try to set an example for my boys, to teach them compassion, accountability, and resilience. I want those values to be reflected in our leaders. I don't want to have to turn off the TV because our president is lobbing insults or telling lies. I'm tired of all of the hate. It's time to move forward together and build a country our kids can be proud of.
People are saying Hassan got kicked out of the DNC, apparently.
Yeah.
It's true.
He can stay, but he has to leave
Over
the
what?
spot he was in, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what
so
I heard.
it was a space thing. It wasn't.
It was a
they
space
kicked him
thing,
for his-
as far as I
Oh, it
understand
wasn't
it.
kicking
Yeah,
out
so
the
he's still
radical
there.
extreme left.
Right, right.
Oh
They
yeah,
don't
he's
need to
walking
piss
around
off more
outside.
people. I'm really hoping that we see Roman at some point. I'm still holding out a little bit of hope. If
Who?
that happens, that would be great. Ruwa Roman is the
Oh yes, the Palestinian.
yeah, she's the
lawmaker
state
who-
rep from
Georgia
Georgia.
representative, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
key swing state. With a great speech. Everybody should check it out.
Rolling Stone magazine just published it.
Oh, they published it too. Oh,
yeah,
that's
they published
fantastic.
it. I was like, oh, it's going mainstream.
Good.
Welcome.
Good.
Good.
The Bulls
It's getting attention.
official drum
It's
line.
such a good
Chicago's own.
It is a
Pack
really good speech.
drum
And
line.
like
Yeah.
it plays it so safe.
Right.
As she said herself when she was describing it, she's like, "This is what I wrote for the convention, not my like." I would obviously use a lot stronger language if I was speaking my mind.
Right, right. They should be paying her to make that speech. It's so good. But the fact that they're not letting her speak is genuinely so depressing.
It's cowardice, and racism.
Yeah,
is what it is.
It's
It really
also
killed the
like
vibe.
she's doing the DNC a favor by even offering to give a speech.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Right.
It shouldn't be the other way around. Like, this is like they should be happy to have her. That's someone
Right.
actually
Yes.
willing to give a speech and not just like shit on the administration the entire time. Like,
Yeah.
she's very pro Kamala Harris. She supports Kamala Harris. Like, there's nothing crazy. It's just it's really disgusting.
Not at all.
Yep.
She endorses her. She talks shit about Trump in it too. Saying that
Yeah.
he uses the term Palestinian as a slur. I was like, at the very end, the way it ends to just that kind of beautiful, like, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, Jewish or Palestinian. We deserve like a future together. That like very
Yeah.
very well put together, concise message.
It's what we all need to hear in this moment. It would make us feel better because everything that you're hearing about inclusivity and how much things have changed, it just rings so hollow when they're excluding Palestinians. And to make matters worse, to bring on Border Patrol agents and to bring on anti-choice Republicans and former Trump administration officials and creeps who are friends with Epstein,
people
like
who
Bill
are
Clinton.
photographed with Epstein's. Yeah, like he was photographed with one of Epstein's victims, giving him massages in multiple
Yeah.
photos. Like, he's bad. Like, drop him, DNC. Why won't you get rid of this guy? I'm astounded they still think he's good for the brand somehow.
Yeah, no, it just, the decisions that they're making are so ridiculous. So Kamala, she needs to make the call and get this done. The campaign knows, but they haven't done it yet. But they're aware.
I mean,
so
at
they
this
can't
point,
feign
I would be
ignorance.
stunned if they
Oh, no,
had her
it's
in
not
the last
happening
couple
anymore.
hours.
No,
It's
no,
not going to happen now.
No,
Like,
no. There's limited
if
time.
they were going to have her, it
There's
would have been like the
Beyonce.
first hour or something.
Yeah, exactly. They would not want to put it on in prime time. It's not happening in prime time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a missed opportunity. Really, really despicable and coward move from the Harris campaign and the DNC.
Yeah.
And racist.
Absolutely racist.
But they got time for not to shit on the drums here. They're fine.
Yeah,
right.
I was like, I can't talk shit. I love this kind of stuff. I was like, if I was there right now, I would be like, yeah.
But I'm just saying, they got time. They got time for music generally. but don't have time for a Palestinian speaker is a little ridiculous.
Right.
No, I agree with Mike's point. It makes me way more disgusted considering the roster of people who did speak, right? You know, like fucking anti-choice Republicans just because like, oh yeah, we're talking shit about Trump, you know. But wasn't Trump's press secretary allowed to speak, you know, in the list? Billionaires.
Yeah, it was a former Trump administration official. I can't remember her name. And she was like, I was horrified by what I saw at the Trump administration. It's like, I'm sorry, but we all knew he was a demon, as did you. And you still took the job, but you were afraid? That's something wrong with you, sister. What the fuck are you doing, lady? Come on.
She said up until what, like January 6th is when I truly learned that, like, you know, something was wrong. I was like, January 6th was when you learned that? Like, what?
It wasn't the verified people.
Shouldn't be allowed on the stage. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That to me, it's giving stupidity. I don't feel sympathy for you. By the way, Progressive Voice is in the chat. Talking shit. Nice to see you, Progressive Voice.
Hi, Progressive Voice.
Mike taking the L to Kyle right now. Wait, what L?
I don't know, but Progressive Voice is always putting me down. He's a
always
hater.
fighting some drama.
Yep. Hater
Probably can't play real music, right?
Yeah, we probably shouldn't.
I was playing. I let it go last night, and it didn't affect my channel. But I don't want to take all your channels down with me. So.
Oh, fucking for Clinton? Coldplay. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah,
when Clinton walks out to Coldplay blasting on the sound
Fix
system,
You, wasn't it?
You know?
They're playing Fix You.
Yep, Fix You. That's it.
Well,
like, all right,
they played the fight song for Hillary afterwards.
That's
which is amazing.
right.
Yeah. All I can think of with that
loser.
song is that song playing in the background as she's screaming at a Bernie Sanders supporter who's asking her to support Medicare for all or something. I can't remember. It's like, I'm tired of you Sanders people. Always like, I don't remember what it was. And it's just playing in the background, just fucking up the vibe so much. It's just,
that Hillary speech, I just until she takes responsibility for her own mistakes, I have a hard time just listening to her, because this is somebody who
absolutely
who just has blamed everybody else for not campaigning properly. Look at what Kamala Harris is doing. Like, this is how you run a campaign. Kamala Harris and Walz are absolutely killing it. Like, just running the complete opposite campaign that Hillary did, doing an incredible job. And
the exception being the uncommitted voter movement, just basically pissing on them. That's basically the biggest, like, what the fuck are you doing move so far outside of it. Yeah, obviously it's like, everything. And I also like how Hillary kind of like slithered back only to make it about herself, where she was like, I opened the glass ceiling for this moment to happen. It's like, no one likes you. Did you not realize that?
Did you see there's an Onion article of Hillary Clinton shaking Kamala's hand? And, you know, the headline was something like, Hillary Clinton congratulates Kamala, quote, I'm really, 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 really proud of you, as she hangs onto her hand for a long time, or something like that. Like,
bruising it in the process.
Yeah, just won't let go.
Wow. Yeah.
I've been covering this every night, and these speeches start to run together at some point. Like, there's
like
it gets hard to judge like if that was a good speech or not, unless it's someone like Tim Walz who just fucking kills it. But like there was I forget who it was. I think it was the Maryland governor. I think he gave a speech, and it was just, I think it was good, but like people in the chat were saying, yeah, it was a good speech. I couldn't tell anymore. It's just like a lot of the same themes come up, and it's just one after another after another. Like, I don't think no one person is meant to really consume all of this. All of this is really meant for like sound bites and clips later on for people to view. Yeah, it is very unhealthy to watch hours of this every day.
What we're doing is not normal behavior. I haven't been streaming, but I've been watching all of David's streams while playing video games. I don't want to commentate. I just want to listen. But yeah, it's too much. It's a lot. I will say though, there's been some good speeches. I think that Michelle Obama's was probably the best. Didn't feel anything from Barack Obama's, but Michelle's was really good because she actually focused on the reality of like the dread that we've all been feeling with regard to Donald Trump. Obama's was Obama's, you know, it's what you expected. I'd say my favorite though is probably Tim Walz. I think I'm biased, but that moment with his son was so touching that it made my cold dead heart actually feel something.
I still tear up watching like clips of that same clip. I've seen the clip like 20 times now. I still tear up watching that. I can't help it. It's just like seeing that.
And Culture deleted
love
her tweet making fun of it.
Dad. Oh my
I think
god!
a lot of them are. Yeah, they're backing away from that line of attack. They all realized how fucking gross it was.
Oh, they are backing away. It was so.
Oh yeah. Well, when Matt Walsh is calling you out, you fucked up. Like
Matt Walsh was calling them out.
Yes, Matt Walsh was just. I don't understand the strategy at all. It doesn't make sense. This is a son loving his father. What's this about?
Wow.
Like,
okay.
Oh,
wow. That's surprising.
Yeah. I have a video on it tomorrow about the Republicans who called out the Republicans. Because it was really like one of those moments where, okay, if you can't put aside partisan biases here, your brain is completely rotten. I mean, this is a father and son loving each other. There's nothing more wholesome than that. How can you find some way to shit on this moment and attack his son? It's just despicable.
They just can't relate because they can't imagine Don Jr. doing that. Like, can you imagine Don Jr. being like, "I love you, Dad. Oh, I love you, Dad." It's never happened.
That was one of the tweets. Someone was like, "What is it? Like Don? It wasn't Don Jr. Who's the youngest? Like the super tall kid?
Oh, Barron.
Barron.
Yeah, Barron's like Barron would never do this. He doesn't cry because he's not a soy cuck." And I was like, you've like what this is indicative of, and what Matt Walsh should realize is you've been so horrifyingly horrible for so long that of course these are your fans now. This is what like they're horrifying people, you know. They're gonna Nazis are gonna Nazi.
And I'm sorry, like there's been reports now that Barron is 18, his nanny is speaking up because he's no longer a child. So he's officially an adult, and there's reports that he was like torturing animals or something. So not the best comparison.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I don't know how credible the nanny is. It hasn't been vetted. But the nanny posted photos of himself, you know, with Barron and kids and whatnot, and was like, "Yeah, man, he attacked kids. He inappropriately touched another kid at a sleeper."
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what the? There was an interview that I think Barron was like 4 years old, and it was like an ABC interview or something. And he, when he was 4, he had his mom's accent, like exactly. It's like he wasn't even.
Okay,
like,
but that's now it's back
to
to being cute again. Now that's kind of cute. I can't really hate on that.
No, but it just showed me like Donald was like never with him, obviously. Like,
he
sounded exactly like his mom.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Which also goes to that. I do actually think his again. I don't want to be here defending any of the Trumps, but I do think his mom probably loves her son, at least in a way that Trump doesn't.
Yeah, I think that
probably
that's absolutely true. Yeah, and if we saw a moment between Melania and Barron like that, I would think it was sweet. Because it's like there's something so pure about just like, you know, a mother and a son or a father and a son, like we're seeing right now.
A lot of Looper, though. I feel like now it sounds like he's going to grow up to be super evil, and now like, is it only a mother's love that can stop this or save us? Like, that's I didn't know about the butchering animals thing. That's very concerning and scary.
Yeah. Again, like these are reports that have not been vetted by journalists, so it's one account from somebody. But you know, it's just to put that out there. So they don't want to make this comparison if these stories continue.
I just realized we should grab super chats as there's like dead air here with these.
We should.
Dancing.
Yeah, we should.
Who even knows what these are for, who these are for? I have no idea. Justin, $5 super chat. Israel families with hostages can get platformed at the DNC, but Palestinian delegates, some who lost whole families, get denied a spot. Way to go, DNC.
Thank you, Pendulous.
Yeah, fuck you, DNC, for that.
Shame the DNC is so fucking stupid. Sophia, thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you, Tomas. Sam O, when you playing Black Myth WukOn, Mike?
I'm gonna finish Neo 2 first. And I'll probably play it next month if I have time. I'm definitely gonna play it because it looks so good.
Parker,
it's also pretty cool that it was made. I think it's a Chinese video game, right?
Yeah.
Which is the Steam numbers have like it's blown up because it's it's like
it separated itself from China, Tencent and became like an independent gaming company, and then it published the game. I heard that was one of the cool things, but then one of the weird things is that it's got like all these limitations on what you can stream. Like you're not allowed to talk about apparently gender and sexuality when you play the game.
Yeah,
they said
also I was
stuff like that.
I was reading the work environment there is not very positive. There's some shit behind the scenes with that game for sure. I have no interest. Like I think it looks nice, but it
looks cool.
it was being described as like a boss rush game. That's the last thing I want to play. Like, I'm not super into that. I've actually been playing a lot of Concord, which was getting a lot of shit because it's has a again, this is right wing shit. Has a diverse cast of characters. It has pronouns. There's a trans character in it, but it's a hero shooter, 5v5 hero shooter. But it's more like Destiny PvP or like Halo. But it's like the gunplay is
pronouns
spectacular. I loved it in the beta. Then I pre-ordered it. It's out. It's been out for a few days in early access. So I've been playing that. It's so good. So anyone looking for a new multiplayer shooter, check out Concord. It's fantastic. Parker, $2 super chat. We all know Kathy Hochul gave the best speech.
Thank you, Parker. I just
think
saw
I fell asleep halfway through it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it in full. I tuned out or something. But the clip I saw, she is like a charisma drain, like JD Vance.
Asa Rosa, off topic, but Chris Chan got arrested again recently.
I don't know that. I don't know who that is.
Okay, neither do I.
Okay,
like,
okay.
Do you know who that
I want to say, is that like the name sounds familiar, but I don't know.
It's an internet celebrity. I don't know who this is.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm too old then. I'm a boomer.
No idea. Asa Rosa again. Also, did y'all see the new trailer for Mafia 4? Yeah.
That looks good.
Looks good.
Yep. That looks
I enjoyed
amazing.
I guess they came out in like a remaster a few years ago in a trilogy.
Which I never
that's when I
played.
them. That's
But
when
I
I played them
wanna
off the first time, and it's fun. Like if you're into that kind of style, like open world, like GTA style game, and though they're more, I would say, story focused. At least the first one is.
Okay.
It's fun.
Hell yeah. I was so tempted to pick up Cyberpunk when it was on sale after you and Cav had recommended it. But I'm like, God, I should wait because I know I'm not going to play it right away. And then it's going to be cheaper the next time I want to play it. And then I'm going to hit myself.
How cheap was it?
So the DLC with the full game was $50, which is pretty
Yeah,
good.
it might go
but
cheaper.
If it's $30, that's, that's better.
It probably will go cheaper at some point. All right. Who's...
The Dixie Chicks?
Oh yeah, or they're now called
white
the
ladies,
Chicks.
I'm just guessing.
They're now the Chicks. I have my own version of this song.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Who's brought stripes and bright stars through the
Hey, it's just me now. Like the past 3 days on my YouTube channel. It's been fun.
We're so gallantly
Am I allowed to talk over the anthem? Is that like not allowed? That's not.
The bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night
America.
that our flag was still there.
That's terrorism. Don't do that to me. You're gonna get so canceled so fast. You're gonna start an international incident.
Oh my God, it's still going.
I started playing Oh Canada.
Yeah, started an international incident. We're already canceled all over Twitter.
Can't do that.
I will say I like Doug. He seems like just the normal guy.
He does. His speech was really, really good. I'd put it like for me, Tim Walz was the best speech, and then I'd say Doug next, then Michelle Obama, because it gave you like a different kind of speech. Like a lot of speeches that they all kind of run together. This is like you get more of a personal story, and it's interesting that way.
Yeah, I like hearing about those kinds of stories, like how
he was really
Kamala
good
met.
too.
Yeah, he's very he's just very likable. He kind of has that Tim Walz dad vibe, which is just like seems
Please
like
welcome
a likable
Kerry
guy.
Washington.
Yeah.
Welcome to the final night of the Democratic National Convention. The last 3 nights have been extraordinary.
So she's hosting,
and
I'm
tonight,
assuming.
we hear from
Yes.
our next President Kamala Harris.
They're only 6 minutes late today. How about that?
Okay. Now, as I stand here, I know that there are folks
Actually, no, they're on time because the
social
chicks
media
were
already
meant to go
saying,
first.
go back to your TV show. Shut up and act. But I am not here tonight as an actor. I am here as a mother, as a daughter, as a proud union member. I am here as the granddaughter
Unions are popular.
of
That's the best takeaway
as
from
a black
the DNC so
woman
far.
descended from enslaved people.
Yep.
I am here tonight because I am an American and because I am a voter and because we, the people, are stronger when all our voices are heard.
She's a great speaker, much better than Ana Navarro, which was a perplexing choice to host on Tuesday.
That I am the one standing on
Yeah,
the stage.
the day
but
Bernie was
I
going
am
up. I think she called
not
Bernie a
the lead
communist at one
character
point.
in
Like,
this story.
yeah, like
you are.
the choices they make
All
sometimes.
of you.
So confusing.
You are the messengers. You are the fixers. Dare I say it, you are the Olivia Popes. You are the superheroes saving this democracy. It is you, not me, who have the greatest power to convince your loved ones to vote. So, just like Michelle Obama told us, let's do something. Let's make a video. Everybody take out your phones. Everybody take out your phones. We're going to make a moment. Can somebody bring me my phone? I want to capture this historic moment and share it with the people that we love.
The selfie scene around the world.
I didn't watch the TV show, so I'm very lost about
Yeah. I'm guessing
video,
that was
guys.
a character.
We're going to take it together.
with
We're going to
her?
post
Yeah, I
it to
think he
social
was.
media. Text your
I have
friends.
no idea what's
Send
happening.
this message out into the
I
world.
don't like this.
When I say when we fight, you're going to say, are you ready? Okay, let's record. We're recording. You ready, Tony?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, ready? When we fight. When we fight. When we fight. Are you ready for Kamala Harris to win?
The comments are like, I don't know what's happening. Who's that guy? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know who this is. I know Kerry Washington. I know her, but I don't know him. But this is very cringeworthy. I hate this.
We did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe.
Thank you, Tony.
Is he Joe? I thought.
No, you
Okay,
guys
yeah,
don't.
it's Tony. Who? What are we? What's going on?
I think Joe is Biden.
Yeah, maybe Biden.
Oh, we forgot about him.
Genocide
I thought.
Joe?
Come on, let's move on from Joe.
Okay, so listen. It's come to my attention that there are some folks who struggle or pretend to struggle with the proper pronunciation of our future president's name. So, hear me out. Confusion is understandable. Disrespect is not. So tonight, we are going to help everyone get it right. Here to help me are some very special guests.
Okay, so that guy is the president in the show that they're in.
Thank you,
I guess.
ladies.
That's
Can
what
you
someone
tell
said.
us your names?
Hello,
I
everybody.
figured.
My name's Amara. And my name is Leela, her little sister.
And what are you here to do?
To teach you how to say your auntie's name.
Okay. So how do you pronounce it?
This is really
First
cute.
you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la.
Put it together and it's 1, 2, 3. Kamala. All right, so let's practice. Let's practice.
Everybody over here say comma. Everybody over here say la.
Together. For president.
Now say, Communist Kamala. Or what was it? It was Comrade Kamala. That was a paid
Wasn't that
trend on Twitter.
Kamabla? That's another one he was using?
Yeah, he's going like Kamabla. Yeah.
Kamabla.
I think it's the first time I've heard a Kamala chant. It's always been Joe. Joe
Yeah.
Biden.
Really?
The one syllable.
Joe Biden.
Please welcome Nina Harris, Ella Emhoff, and Helen Hudlin.
Hi, I'm Mina.
I'm Ella.
And I'm Helena.
I grew up in Oakland, California, in a house full of extraordinary women. My mom, my grandma, and my auntie, who showed me the meaning of service, helping her sister, a 17-year-old single mom, fighting for justice for the American people, and still cooking Sunday family dinner. She guided me, now she's guiding my own children, and I know she'll guide our country forward.
Kamala came into my life when I was 14. Famously a very easy time for a teenager. Like a lot of young people, I didn't always understand what I was feeling. But no matter what, Kamala was there for me. She was patient, caring, and always took me seriously. She's never stopped listening to me, and she's not going to stop listening to all of us.
Kamala Harris is my godmother. To me, her advice means everything. Whether it's pursuing my passions, making an impact, or finding hope when the world doesn't feel so hopeful. She taught me that making a difference means giving your whole heart and taking action.
She's fighting for economic opportunity, LGBTQ+ equality, and reproductive freedom, because we are not going back.
She's fighting for social justice, health justice, environmental justice, and she isn't alone. We're all in this fight together.
So let's keep up the fight. Let's keep up the joy.
And let's elect this extraordinary woman as our next president.
As somebody who wears glasses, I cringed when she touched her glasses because now she can't see anything from her right side. Or left side it was that she touched. So I felt
Please
that.
welcome
That was visceral.
actor and comedian
I was really hoping Ella
Doel
was going to say free Palestine.
Yeah,
Slip
right.
one in there.
She's-
Slip one in there.
Yeah.
Hey now, hey Chicago, how y'all doing? What's happening, California? Now, wait, where those AKAs at? Where they at? You know what? In 3 months, ain't gonna be no living with y'all. I can tell you this. I don't blame Donald Trump for not wanting to debate Kamala. I've been married to a black woman for 40 years and I ain't won one debate. I'm owing $93,000. Now, of course, Trump is saying that Kamala isn't black. I guarantee you this, Kamala's been black a lot longer than Trump's been a Republican.
Good line.
And if he keeps sliding in the polls the way he is, the only way he can keep Kamala out of the White House is if he buys it and refuses to rent it to her. Of course, Kamala's getting broad support. They got black men for Kamala, white men for Kamala, Latinos and Asians for Kamala. They even have Republicans for Kamala.
Muslim women for Kamala just dropped their support.
Yep.
Yeah,
Republicans for Kamala. I guess Donald Trump will finally know what it's like when you get left for a younger woman.
And after RFK drops out, they're going to have vaccine skeptics for Kamala. It's official. It's going to happen. I'm still rolling with that. I would love to see that. That'd be hilarious.
Vaccine skeptics for Kamala.
Balls in your court, Jimmy.
Seriously, Kamala knows the truth about the American dream, that hard work, is not alone enough. Hard work alone is not enough to succeed. That you need access and information and opportunity. And she knows that some folks are often denied those very things. As president, she will give each and every one of us a fair shot in life. But I have to admit, I didn't always believe that. I mean, if you told me the 15-year-old me would be on stage supporting a prosecutor and a teacher, there is no way that I would have believed you. But because of that, I made assumptions about Kamala's record. And I often repeated them to a lot of people. Then one day, Kamala invited me to her house. She put her hand on my shoulder and she asked me to do some research. Something I had never done. Something a lot of people I know had never done before. Imagine attacking someone's character without a single Google search. So I did what I should have done in the first place. I learned that she had done for us exactly what she promised to. I believe that your apology should be as loud as your accusation, and I'm here apologizing in front of the whole damn world. I was wrong. I was wrong, and I'm so very glad I was wrong because Kamala, you give me hope for the future, a future where my grandchildren, Nola and Stevie, had the freedom to control their own bodies, where they have the opportunity to go as far as their wits and their talents would take them. That future, ladies and gentlemen, is possible, but only if we elect Kamala Harris as the 47th President of the United States of America. I will say this to you, the best piece of advice I've ever gotten in my entire life is you don't have to know what you will do, just know what you won't. And we won't go back.
And he made comments about Kamala Harris in the past. I guess he criticized her. I don't remember that.
Energy in this room is
I'm really a big fan of
electric.
Doel, who, like a lot of the hosts on our
And
season,
you can
like,
feel it
pretty big fan of when it's the
everywhere, all over the
comedians, but I'm
country.
just
In the coming
so
weeks,
burnt out on
I
this
want
right
us
now.
to find ways
Yeah.
to maintain this energy and this joy and this commitment. Because
I think that the
there
not
will
allowing
be
the
days when the
Palestinian to
work
speak
ahead seems
is just,
impossible.
it's a dark cloud
And
hanging
when
over the
that
convention.
happens,
Oh, over the entire
I know what I do. I
They
get
fucked up.
involved.
Like they didn't have to do
I
this.
get
It's an unforced
engaged.
error and just
I ask myself,
wrong.
how can I be of service to
They were
my
just asking
community?
to be treated like humans
Because
too. This is
community
the
is
saddest
why
thing about
this
it.
do-
Like
is
watching
why
them
we do
cry
this. Am I
outside during
right?
the sit-in, just to
Yes,
be like,
we do this
also
for our
people.
children,
Yeah.
for our parents, for our teachers and care workers who treat our loved ones like their own. We do this for working families who make this country thrive. We do this for the planet and for each other. We do this for justice and for peace and for democracy. And as we are about to hear, we do this for the safety of our communities.
Please welcome Genesee County, Michigan Sheriff Chris Swanson.
Fun.
Oh, we get to hear. Let's do sheriff.
Yo.
This is great.
So glad we get a cop again instead of a Palestinian. Awesome.
Yeah. In
My job
full suit.
is to protect people.
Is it though? Is it though?
In 2020,
Can we get a fact check?
Righteous anger spilled over into the
Chris
streets of
Swanson.
Flint, Michigan.
Of the Swanson family?
One bad decision from either side, and there would have been bloodshed. But that didn't happen. We laid down our riot gear.
Sahil said this guy
and
looks
we
like
embraced
Dave
the
Rubin.
community. And instead of hate, we chose hope.
If Dave Rubin put on like 50 pounds of muscle,
Yeah.
this guy looks fucking
On
terrifying.
January 6th,
Chad
the
Dave
opposite
Rubin.
occurred.
Squidward Chad.
That day
Dave Rubin.
was paved with
He's
division,
apparently a Republican?
deceit,
Oh, that
and
wouldn't surprise
denigration.
me. He's a cop.
Police officers were attacked that day.
Thanks, DNC. Awesome.
It
So
could've
glad
been
we get
stopped.
him instead of Rua.
This is
We
like
need a
the
leader
final 2 hours of the
who will
entire
embody
week. They got to get a cop
what's
up there who's a Republican. Like, are you
sides of my
fucking
shared
kidding me?
They are so.
He's been in TV
fucking
ads
stupid.
already.
Serve
Yeah.
and unify.
Of course.
Kamala Harris is that leader. As a
He's one of those
prosecutor,
basically Republican,
Kamala Harris
public
by
figures
putting
that
violent
switched after
criminals
January
and
6th to
sex
supporting
offenders
Democrats.
behind bars. If I was in a courtroom, she's exactly the tough prosecutor that I'd want to see. As vice president, she served America by keeping us safer. And I can testify firsthand where I come from, crime is down,
spitting in the
and police
chat.
funding is up.
He does. His hair is exactly like David.
Kamala Harris will unify our country.
So ridiculous.
She will bring us together because our country needs a leader
Not wearing a video camera
who will go
either.
toe to
He took
toe
it down.
with drug cartels and bullies. One who has already taken the oath, raised her right hand to advocate for the people. I can tell you in 2020, we were able to turn a protest into a peaceful movement by walking together. One city, one community, and one country. America, let's walk. Let's walk. Let's walk together and let's elect Kamala Harris and turn hate into hope yet again. Thank you.
I appreciate it was short.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the short speeches. People that don't want to sit there too long talking about themselves. Bill Clinton went double overtime. Did you realize that?
And then
No.
He was supposed to go for 12 minutes. He went for like 30 minutes.
God, what a narcissist.
Pushed Tim Walz out of prime time. Ridiculous.
3 of those rounds he aimed at Jordan. Jordan didn't deserve to die that way.
Reports of an active shooter at a high school.
These students have now lived through so many of these shootings since they were born almost.
We were praying and crying. I don't know how we're alive.
An active shooter at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Multiple children have been killed.
Most of the body so mutilated that only DNA tests or green Converse could identify.
Trump did nothing on guns and was proud of it.
There was great pressure on me. We did nothing.
After a mass shooting in Iowa, Trump said,
I have to get over it.
"You never get over it." Kamala Harris and Joe Biden refused to get over it. As district attorney, she got illegal guns off the street. As attorney general, she took on transnational crime rings and stopped gun trafficking. As vice president, she helped pass the most sweeping gun violence legislation in 3 decades, keeping guns out of the hands of criminals,
you can see them.
expanding background checks, closing loopholes.
We'll finally pass red flag laws, universal background checks, and an assault weapons ban.
Kamala understands the fight we're in.
The power is with the people.
Yeah, it does seem weird
people
showing
like me,
Uvalde footage after having a
survivors
cop speak on stage.
Yeah.
Right. It's just in
I
poor
was thinking that too.
taste. Like, that was the cop that marched with Black Lives Matter protesters, but that doesn't really mean anything to me. He's a cop, and that time could have been given to somebody
Georgia
else.
Representative
And it's
Lucy
just,
McBath.
This night is not as good so far, I would say.
When I worked for Everytown for gun safety,
Yeah, it kind of feels like this got to
demand action
they
for
threw
gun
everyone in who
safety
they haven't had on yet.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting
Except
for
the
Kamala Harris.
Palestinian, of course.
Yeah.
I saw firsthand
I'm so bitter about
the
that.
power of telling our
I'm just
stories.
bitter. I'm depressed. It, again,
Right.
clouds the
You
entire.
just
Like, how can you
heard
make this about
mine.
joy while they're crying
But
outside to be
there are
heard?
Yeah,
many
a historic
more to
evening
tell.
completely ruined by the DNC's racism and Harris's
Yeah.
campaign refusal. You know,
On December
just sick.
14th, 2012, I walked into Sandy Hook School. I stopped at the office, chatted with my principal, then started my day with my second graders. Suddenly, a loud crash, like metal folding chairs falling. 154 gunshots blaring. Hiding in the coats, trying to sing with my students, trying to read to them, trying to drown out the sounds. Terror, crying, running. I carry that horrific day with me.
Cataboo might join us for just a little bit to
20
give us an update on the
beautiful
ground.
first grade
Oh, that'd be
children
great.
And
if it's
6
okay with the two
of
of
my
you.
beautiful
Yeah, I'd
colleagues
love that.
were killed. They should still be here.
That was really powerful.
It's 10:30 a.m. at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. The school is recognizing my 10-year-old daughter, Lexi, for receiving all A's. She receives a Good Citizen Award, and we pose for photos. She wears a St. Mary's sweatshirt and a smile that lights up the room. 30 minutes later, a gunman murders her, 18 classmates, and 2 teachers. We are taken to a private room where police tell us she isn't coming home. Uvalde is national news. Parents everywhere reach for their children. I reach out for the daughter I will never hold again.
My niece, Sandy Patrice, was 22. She drove to Myrtle Beach for sun and fun and motorcycle parades. Hours later, my phone rang. Shooting on the beach. No one can find Sandy. I stayed calm. You see, my mother, Patricia Ann, had been shot and killed by an abusive partner. I was calm then too. I got to handling business. I called relatives, the police, hospitals, and I kept calling, voice steady, heartbeat pulsing. Then I was connected to the coroner. 10 years of waiting, and Sandy's murder is still unsolved. I'll keep calling, and I'll keep fighting.
I was in high school when my classmate got shot. It changed my story. Instead about worrying about taking a test, I started worrying about living to take another test. They say schools are for learning, and I did learn a lot that day. I learned how to run, how to hide and drop, that what happens in the news can happen to me. But I learned something else too, that we can write and must write a new story if we choose to.
Our stories of loss. But make no mistake, our losses do not weaken us. They strengthen our resolve. We will secure safer futures that we all deserve. We will organize. We will advocate. We will run for office. And we will join with Americans from small towns and big cities to keep our communities safe. And And we will elect leaders like Kamala Harris, who won't just empathize, but will act.
What are they saying?
What are they chanting?
Please welcome former Arizona Representative Gabby Giffords.
Not one more. Got it.
Oh, not one more. I think they were chanting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, fellow Americans! I'm Gabby Giffords. I was born in the great state of Arizona! I was born with grit. I grew up
That's the third
racing
grit.
motorcycles, mucking stalls,
Is that a note
and
people are getting?
exploring
Is there a
the
memo being
beautiful
passed around?
desert.
Be sure to
I
mention
fell
how
for
you
an
come from
astronaut.
true grit. You are of the hard stock, Very
Grit is
old timey
relatable.
saying. Yeah.
For 5 years, I served in Congress from a swing district. Everybody called me a rising star. Then on January 8th, 2011, a man tried to assassinate me. He shot 19 people. He killed 6. Terrible, terrible day. I almost died, but I fought for my life and I survived. I learned to walk again, one step at a time.
Is there
I
any
learned to talk
policy
again,
decisions
one
about gun reform
word at
that
a
she's
time.
unveiled yet?
So many people helped me.
I'm not
as
sure. I think just
worked
what's in
hard
the
to
formal
recover,
platform.
including a
I think there is.
decent
I can't
for
recall there.
Delaware who always checked in. He still does. Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you for everything. Joe is a great president. My friend Kamala will be a great president. She is tough. She has grit.
Where that
Kamala
word is again,
can
Lance.
beat the gun lobby.
You said it at the
She
start of her
can
speech as
fight
well.
Gun
Oh, really?
trafficking.
Yeah, I was like, a lot of grit.
Kamala stood up to Wall Street and the drug company. She will protect abortion access. She will defend our freedom. She saved lives. Join me in voting for Kamala Harris. Bravo! Thank you. Woo!
I think it's a Pink performance now, and then it's Mark Kelly.
I had the honor of meeting Vice President Harris
Ping.
when I got to introduce her when she spoke at my high school about gun violence. Parkland happened, and all I could think about is that I wanted to keep my kids safe.
On July 4th, 2022, I was next in line to walk in the Highland Park Independence Day Parade when gunshots erupted. 7 people were shot and killed, and 48 more were injured.
Vice President Harris has been a gun sense champion since she was our California AG.
We have 2 options in November. We have Kamala Harris, who has already proven her leadership in the Biden-Harris administration. They passed the first ever comprehensive gun reform in 30 years. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has cozied up to the NRA and the gun lobby.
I have full confidence in Vice President Harris that she's dedicated to and committed to finding a solution to end gun violence.
Please welcome three-time Grammy-winning singer-songwriter and global pop icon, Pink.
Can I play this? I don't know.
I would say don't risk it, maybe. It's not like the official track, it's her singing it, but
if you guys want to see her sing, there's other streams you can go to.
Yeah, she's probably singing the fight song. It's fine. You all heard that a million times. She's a very talented performer.
This one seems a little more somber than the fight song.
You know what's funny? I've never listened to the full fight song. I've just heard that chorus. And that's enough. It's more than enough.
It's not her song though, is it? Isn't someone else's song? That's not Pink's song.
It's Pink. Alanis Morissette, Britney, one of them. I'm not sure who sings it, honestly.
It's Rachel Platten.
I was gonna say Carly Jespy. Is that her name? The Call Me Maybe person?
Carly Rae Jepsen. No, don't talk shit about Carly Rae Jepsen now.
Oh shit.
Fantastic pop star. Her second album is really good. Canadian. Also has my exact birthday, which is really bizarre, like the exact year. Very.
Are you two twins by chance?
No, but very bizarre. But her second album is really, really good. I haven't really listened to any of the new stuff.
Anyways, listened to her. I've only heard like 2 songs from her, I think.
There's a "Runaway with Me" is a fantastic song.
I've only heard "Call Me Maybe" and the fight song from Carly Jespy.
Fight song is not Carly Rae. You're not even saying your name properly.
What song are they actually playing?
Carly Jespy?
The fight song?
Making up people. I have no idea. It's something we can't play.
I'm sorry, I'm fucking around. I'm delirious at this point. I've seen too much DNC.
You're delirious. I've been streaming this shit for 4 days. God damn it.
It's more painful for you. I could have jumped on the stream with you, David, and helped you out, but I just didn't want
fight
to.
Song is Katy Perry. It's not Pink.
Oh, it is Katy Perry. No, what? David said it was somebody
Rachel
else.
Platten.
I've never Katy Perry does fight song, the Hillary Clinton one that's used. That's Katy Perry. This
really?
Is
I thought Katy Perry
Katy Perry.
I thought Katy Perry had a different song for I'm seeing Rachel Platten. I'm not seeing Katy unless Katy Perry covered it.
Really?
Oh,
look up fight song.
Oh,
Rachel
Katy Perry is
Platten
Roar.
That's a different.
Oh, that song is so fucking bad. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's bad too.
Yeah.
Let me grab some super chats here. What do we lose?
Oh, it's a smart idea. We left out at Brian. Yeah. Brian, nice to see you, man. Just checking in before I have a game to get to. Have a great stream, guys. Hope everyone is doing well. You too, Brian. It's so nice to see you. Brian used to jump in on our monthly Patreon chats. Nice to see you again, man.
Nice.
Sophia, thank you. Guest suggestion. James from Fundy Fridays. I don't know who that is.
Oh, thank you, Sophia. Appreciate that.
I think this is for me. Jordan, thank you for the super chat. Us Canadians can talk over it. Speaking of, I think you're speaking of the national anthem. Yes, yes, we can.
Oh, yes.
Americans can too. And we do. Autistic Goblin, $5. Thank you. Am I a bad lefty for being emotionally exhausted by the constant disappointment in the Dems? I was riding the joy wave and don't want to lose it. I feel you. No, you're not a bad lefty. We were all trying to keep the good vibes going, and they, they're making it very difficult to stay optimistic and to keep the ceasefire between lefties and liberals. I'm trying not to break it myself. It's tough. So no, you're not a bad lefty.
I mean, it's just a reminder that the party is going to disappoint you. Like it obviously,
right.
This is not about. It's not about being like you shouldn't be expected to be happy with everything the party does. Like it's more about avoiding the worst case scenario. I guess I'll get back to this.
Exactly. The fact that there hasn't been many significant fuck-ups until now is honestly astonishing for Democratic Party standards.
Yeah. I think that the Walls pick kind of got our hopes up.
Right.
Our expectations were raised.
Exactly. Democrats going to Democrat at the end of the day.
Our democratic ideals, freedom and liberty, inspire billions.
David, look at this shit talker.
And our military is the strongest in the world.
Sahil? Sahil
Our
predicted that Kamala Harris
military
couldn't even
is a
gain like
force
6 points, and in
that
like 3 days she
underwrites
fucking shattered that shit.
global
So Sahil doesn't know what the
stability
fuck he's talking about.
and our
Do not listen to
national
Progressive
security.
Voice. He went to college and just apparently just absorbed all of political science, and that's his whole ideology
Please
now.
welcome
Is what he's
Arizona
taught.
Senator
Didn't
Mark
use his
Kelly.
brain.
We got to bring him on. We got to talk to nephew again. Been too long.
Yeah.
We got to correct him. He's off track.
Hello, Chicago. Hello, Democrats. So, President Obama had to follow
Arizona.
Michelle. I had to follow Gabby
Makes
and
sense.
Pink. Gabby amazes me every single day. She was able to walk out and address you tonight because she's a fighter. And thanks to a team of doctors, nurses, and especially her speech therapist.
Stop.
I
We
should
all
not
need a
read chat.
team.
I need to not read chat.
I've
Sahil
flown
is
into
fucking me
space
up, man.
4 times.
You should bring it up.
I've
to
flown into combat nearly 40 times. Not once did I
Bad.
do that by myself. It took a team to accomplish a mission. It always does. I flew in the Navy during the first Gulf War. America rallied our allies to kick out a tyrant who invaded a neighbor. Today, Vladimir Putin is testing whether we're still that strong. Iran, North Korea, and especially China
Putin.
watch closely. What's Trump's answer? He invited Russia to do, and these are his words, not mine, whatever the hell they want.
This guy has no
When does-
charisma. I've got to say it.
But also, when does China ever just like directly threaten the
President
US
Harris
like this?
has always
Yeah, right?
championed
I'm
America's
so glad he's
support
not.
of NATO
Oh my god.
for Ukraine and for the Ukrainian people.
And for Gaza?
Oh, nope. Can't mention them.
On the
Not
Senate
allowed.
Intelligence Committee, she investigated Russian interference in our election. She defends free and fair elections everywhere. You already know how Trump feels about those.
This is 6 p.m. night one
Donald
energy
Trump
here. Why is he on
skipped
day
his
4?
intelligence briefing.
Yeah.
Last couple hours before
He was too
Kamala
This
Harris.
is the worst speech I've seen. He
sucking
just
up to
doesn't have it.
dictators and
So happy he's not the
dreaming
VP.
of becoming one himself.
Yeah.
Trump thinks that Americans who have made the ultimate sacrifice are
Are
suckers, and losers.
His body language is giving Republican to me, which isn't too far off
If
to
we
be
fall for that
honest.
again and make him
This
the
guy voted
commander in
against the
chief,
PRO Act.
the
Like,
only
he's
suckers would
conservative.
be us.
He's very conservative.
Sounds like he
Kamala
wants war with
Harris
Iran and China.
knows that standing with our allies means standing up for Americans. She'll keep modernizing our military to support our troops and to support our veterans like our next Vice President, Tim Walz.
The crowd is about
The
to fall
world
asleep.
laughs
This is
at
crazy.
Trump, literally.
Maybe this is purposeful so that the next speeches
It
hit
is not
harder.
funny.
Oh,
When he
he
was
planted a
president-
bomb right before the headliner.
Yes,
oh,
this is how you do it.
Smart,
That
smart.
actually is
Oh, that's actually a
genius.
good play.
Threats
Yeah,
we
that's brilliant.
face are too serious.
Good
The
job.
sacrifices our service members make are too sacred. The alliances we've spent decades building are too critical.
This dude is an astronaut. Can you
That's
imagine
what's
being
at
trapped in
stake
space with
now.
him for months?
And the choice?
I could not.
The choice isn't even
The
close.
ISS, like every time he's got
But
to
in
talk to you, it's
Arizona
like, oh
and
god.
nationwide, this election will be.
Why would they greenlight this speech? He is so
We'll
bad.
win in the same way we launch rockets into space and land fighter jets on an aircraft carrier as one team on one mission. State by
America.
state, voter by voter, coming together. No country is better than ours at solving big problems. So,
And causing
on
them.
November 5th, let's prove that America is still the leader the world needs today by electing the leader we need right now, Kamala Harris.
Someone says maybe
Thank
he's
you,
nervous.
everybody.
I can't imagine he's nervous. I don't
Thank
think he's
you.
nervous. This guy went to space. Are you kidding me? If you could be
Yeah.
an astronaut, you can't be nervous about
He's
a
Rocket
speech.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
Everything
more
else pales in
Please
comparison
welcome
after going to
former
space.
Secretary of
Yeah.
Defense Leon Panetta.
What the fuck?
Well, that's why he had to bomb. We got Leon Panetta next.
Wow, you bring on Leon fucking Panetta. When he came to my college, everyone protested the shit out of him, by the way.
My fellow
Very
Americans.
based.
Nice. Base.
I'm proud to have served in the Army, the Congress, the White House, Chief of Staff,
Okay, bring back Mark Kelly. I can't
CIA
take it anymore.
Secretary of Defense.
Oh my god.
In fact, shoot this guy to space.
Yeah, right.
I've looked into the eyes of our warriors and
Oh,
deployed them into battle,
Wow, it's ramping
sounds
up.
about
I
right.
gave the
Yeah.
order.
You're gonna die next.
directing our
Yeah.
special operations
Yeah, he's saying that
Here's
as
the
if
war
like
cutscene.
you should be
to
happy. For
fly
him.
2 helicopters 150 miles into Abbottabad at night. And by the time the sun rose, Osama bin Laden was dead.
Here we go. Hell yeah, brother.
Because
Oh my God, USA chant.
nobody attacks our
There-
country
one
and
else
gets away
latched
with
on.
it. Nobody.
The red
Especially
background.
Iraq, which didn't attack us, but we attacked anyways.
That's
Yeah.
what our warriors do.
We'll attack everybody.
That's what our warriors,
Well, warriors do.
Our warriors
conquer.
need a tough, cool-headed commander-in-chief to defend our democracy from tyrants and terrorists. We need Kamala Harris behind the resolute desk.
Well, this is scary.
Yeah. The red background is giving
She
it truly
knows.
demonic vibes as
She
well.
knows a
Yeah.
tyrant.
Again, this speech
when
should have
she
been
sees
hidden.
one.
Yeah.
Day one.
And
Yeah.
our
6 o'clock
allies
PM.
know a
Yeah.
leader
Yeah.
when they
Buried
see one.
day one.
On the Senate Intelligence Committee and as vice president, she worked with more
Our guest
than
is here. We can drown this out. We don't need to.
150
Yeah,
world
let's
leaders.
bring in our guest. I can't take any more
Yeah.
of this guy.
Looked
I'll
our
turn on the captions.
allies
Anyone else
in the
wants
eye.
to read along, but here we go.
Hey,
Hey,
Hi,
Kat.
Kat.
Thank you so much
Actually-
for coming on.
thank you for having me. This nice, huh? No, I'm actually gonna move over there so you can watch your football game. This very nice man is watching a football game, so I'm gonna go over there. No, don't worry about it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We'll-
Thanks
we'll
for
do- we'll do
reporting
two things.
live.
Yeah,
You're going to be our
reporting-
correspondent for the next little while.
Oh, yeah, this is what's happening with the Bears. Sorry, I'm so tired. How is everyone doing? How are y'all?
Doing well. How are you holding up out there?
You know,
Standing at least, right?
Sounds positive.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I had 3 hours of
That,
sleep.
that
over the
sounds like
last
4 nights.
24
3 hours of sleep?
Yeah,
God,
I
yeah,
was
I
out
believe
at the sit-in, so we slept on concrete, and
Wow.
I'm excited to sleep in a
Fucking
bed
good
with
for
my
you,
cat.
though. That's huge.
Yeah. Really, really major shout out to you and everyone out there. Like,
Hell
we
yeah.
could not
The
be more
delegates are
proud of you
so
all.
Awesome! I'm so proud of these delegates. They really brought it, and disappointing what's happened. But
Yeah.
let me
Yeah,
just
so-
tell you, I went on to just like a stream separate right before I logged on here, and the only thing I heard was, and by the time the sun rose, Osama bin Laden was dead. And so that's where I'm at with this speech.
Yeah, that's when we tuned out.
You came at the perfect time.
Yeah.
So give us like just a bit of like a summary of like what's happened over the past 24 hours and the current status of the situation.
Yeah, so I'm here as a creator at the DNC, and it's been kind of interesting because they haven't done this before. There were 200 of us, and usually, like, I've been spending the day going around the convention and like trying to talk to people and working on my own videos and using the convention center as a backdrop. And then last night, right as actually my Uber was coming, and the uncommitted delegation learned that the DNC officially said that there would not be a Palestinian American speaker, not an uncommitted speaker, but a Palestinian American speaker. And so I went back in, and so did a bunch of other people, and we had a sit-in. It wasn't supposed to be a sit-in. Time and time again, they kept saying, this is not supposed to be a sit-in. Just call, let us know that we can have 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes like everyone else, and then we'll all go home. We would all love to go home. That did not happen. But Cori Bush came, AOC called in, Summer Lee came, Ilhan came. It was a really beautiful experience, if, a bit disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, I feel it's clouded the entire event. It's like it's impossible to kind of like now this juxtaposition of everyone inside being like, look at the joy, everything is amazing, we're saving the world, and seeing the footage of what was taking place outside. Like I was watching your stream and I was like, this is just so bleak.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and it's like the thing is I was talking with a lot of other Palestinians there, and we all know that the best case scenario in this country will be far less than what anyone deserves. But it's still, we still want to fight for it. We still they want to meet, the uncommitted delegation wants to meet Harris halfway. And really halfway is just acknowledging an entire people the same that everyone else has been acknowledged. But you do have to make time for the chief legal counsel of Uber. We all know this. And I think it was a worthy sacrifice to hear what he had to say.
Yeah, as well as cops. We got another one this evening. We have Leon Panetta speaking right now.
A lot of billionaires bragging about being billionaires. That was fun too.
Yeah,
that was really cool. I like the 10-minute disparity between Bernie Sanders shitting on billionaires and then JB Pritzker being like, as a real billionaire.
Right.
Yeah. Very demure, very cutesy.
Yeah, so much better than, hearing from an actual Palestinian American. And one thing that we were saying earlier is like to have somebody like Rua speak, like the DNC should be paying her. The fact that she is not being allowed to speak, especially after having read her speech, is genuinely stunning. Like I get that the Democratic Party, they are just like, they love to fuck up, right? They always snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. But to see her speech and to know that they rejected her is mind-boggling to me, even by Democratic Party low standards.
Yeah, it's and it wasn't like a new thing. This wasn't like yesterday they said, we demand a spot, on stage. They've been trying this for weeks. It wasn't even in, the demands of uncommitted, because it was just seen as like obviously you would have this very, important group that has been, one of two in this wedge issue for the Democratic Party speak, because, it's supposed to be a big tent for everyone. But I do understand, once again, chief legal counsel of Uber takes precedence over a diaspora.
Of course. Yeah, war criminals,
It's not even
I
just
love war criminals personally. What are y'all's thoughts? Give me your favorite war criminal.
You're in good company. I have plenty of favorites.
We're getting a few on stage, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's not even just like it's obviously the right thing to do. It's from a human rights perspective, but it's also just good politics. You had the uncommitted movement, 101,000 votes in Michigan. I think it was like 13% of the vote in the primary. How do you, just from a political perspective, not want to represent that view? Not to mention, are there really people out there who are like, oh, I'm going to vote for Kamala, but not if she allows a Palestinian to speak? Like that doesn't exist. Yeah. Yet there are tens of thousands.
And the right is going to smear you. Like, they're already doing it. No matter what you say, they're going to be like, this entire thing was supporting Hamas. It was a Hamas festival. I saw Hezbollah.
Trump calls Chuck Schumer a Palestinian. Like, this is how
derogatory.
How broken their brains are. You can't.
That is the funniest thing to happen to us yet, though. Like, it is seriously so. Like, it's horrible and dangerous. Blah 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 blah. Like, it is very funny that you can just say Palestinian as a slur.
It's a slur.
Wild.
That's where we're at now. It's wild. Everything is crazy. That's all I have to say. It's just crazy.
It's going to attack regardless. Like, you can never. And this is what, like, the Harris campaign has been, I think, apart from this issue, good at not reacting to the right. Like, they have really been charting their own path, like doing what they want to do, fighting it in their way, and forcing the right to respond. But this is a situation where it seems like, whether it's they're afraid of what the right's going to say, or it's really about other powers within the party that is not, allowing them, not allowing them, but not making them want to, platform a Palestinian speaker. There clearly is. There has to be a reason behind
it's
that,
calculated
like direct
risk
reason.
is what they're basically assessing.
But what is
right?
the risk? Especially when there's an approved speech. What's the worst that could happen? She says free Palestine. That's like, what's okay. Now what? What's the worst that's going to happen?
Then it turns into a Hamas rally.
No
overnight.
risk.
That'll be the narrative.
That's what every reply in my Twitter says right now is like, what will happen if you let a Palestinian on stage? Is they'll get up and they'll say, I love raping people and murdering them and cutting off the heads of babies and then eating those heads. Nom 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 nom. Let's take down the West. That's what will happen. But it's just wild. What have y'all been feeling out here? Because I've been stuck out there with like low Wi-Fi. How have y'all been feeling today?
I will say that it was really demoralizing going to bed knowing that they were staying up in front of the United Center. But today, seeing the outpouring of support from elected officials like Delia Ramirez, Maxwell Frost, as well as like members of the squad and whatnot, seeing them stand up and say this needs to be fixed, that was really nice to see. Seeing the UAW and Mark Ruffalo, seeing like this outpouring of support kind of gave me a little bit of hope. Like, it's not a substitute for them letting a Palestinian American speak, but just knowing that there are people
Other
who
people
are willing
rightfully
to,
disgusted.
yeah, they're willing to to speak up, put their name on it, and not just be silent, right? Not be complicit with the silencing of Palestinians, because it feels like, this whole time, a lot of liberals have kind of just like tried to push aside any concerns, push aside Palestinians. You see disruptions, at town hall events with lawmakers, and you get the viral videos of them plugging their ears as, Palestinians are confronting lawmakers.
So
and it's been very demoralizing and hard to like keep up this ceasefire with liberals for the election, because it just feels like they don't take this issue seriously. And to be fair, like, this is a racism problem in the Democratic Party. Like, it's anti-Palestinian racism. So I guess like to get the lawmakers, so many of them, so many more than I expected, to come out and say, no, this needs to happen, let them speak. It did make me feel a little bit better, but what would ultimately help and give me more hope about Harris and her political instincts is to remedy this. One question I had for you, Kat, is, so we know that the Harris campaign responded after they heard about the sit-in, and they said that the speaking spot isn't happening, but a private meeting is on the table. So we know that they're aware. I know that the spokesperson for the Harris campaign spoke with Wolf Blitzer on CNN. He was asked about letting them speak, completely dodged the question with word salad, completely non-answer. Are there any updates? Because there's the Harris campaign can't feign ignorance. So at least from the people you're speaking to, the organizers and whatnot, has there been any update from the Harris campaign with regard to where they're at or what they're willing to do to try to meet them halfway? Because, I mean, the uncommitted delegates, they've been so reasonable trying to meet them halfway, and they've got nothing. So, like, what's your sense of, like, what they're hearing from the campaign, if anything?
I mean, last night what they said, first off, was, in the call to Abbas was, I was told to tell you the answer is no. That was a direct quote. And then several hours later, someone came over and like whispered in his ear, and they offered for a conversation with 4 campaign representatives. And he asked, is the speech included? And they said no, not even like, we'll talk about it, like pretending. Since then, I haven't really heard anything, but I completely agree with you. Like, there is hope. I honestly think that this can also, like, I don't think all is lost. And, Harris could win this without remedying it at all. I'm not sure she wants to do that, though. She has talked about aid more than anyone else in the Biden administration. It's a really fucking low bar. But she has. But this was the best, most public place for her to say this includes both, Israeli Americans, Palestinian Americans, Jews, Muslims, Christians, people that want peace. This would have been a really great time to do it. And, they didn't. I don't know why. It's completely inscrutable to me, but it's kind of hard to weigh. There's part of you that's like, oh, this sucks. But at the same time, that Trump is a disaster.
Yeah.
But I like to,
it's not
remain
brat
hopeful.
is what I'm feeling.
It's not brat.
center.
It's not demure. It's not
No.
cutesy, and it's definitely
No.
not mindful.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a vibe killer for sure, to put it mildly.
Oh, I do want to give a shout out though. I was going to edit and post this interview today, but then other things happened. But I interviewed Ro Khanna yesterday, and he rocks. He rocks. I asked him, why should Arab Americans, Palestinian Americans, Muslim Americans, uncommitted people, why should they believe Harris that she'll do better? And he just straight up said, she needs to break from Biden. She needs to outwardly break from Biden. And she needs to speak up because she needs to earn your vote. You shouldn't just give it to her, which is something that, like, I always say and then get yelled at for being a communist, fascist, something.
Trump supporter, yeah.
Trump support. I love Trump. Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
we all love gulags, don't we, folks?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I think
we love
we're all
Trump.
gonna have
That
a really
will be
great
the
time.
first people thrown in.
Yeah, let's figure out some party games to play in the gulag. And he was talking to another influencer, JJ, and he was asked about the TikTok ban, and Ro just went off. He was like, it's so hypocritical that they want to ban TikTok, but they bring all these influencers to, this convention. They try to make this the influencer convention. They try to make this the youth convention. And so they want to use this app and, these ways that you make your livelihoods, these ways that you spread your voice, and they want to take advantage of that and then ban it once they get into power. Like, he just went off. Really the coolest dude, 10 out of 10.
That's awesome.
Just rocks. And he talked to every single person we were walking to film. Like, I'm not one to, try to puff up politicians. They don't need it. But just a really cool guy. And I was very, pleasantly surprised that the way he talked matched up with his voting record and how he spoke off camera as well.
Yeah, he's one of the few that you can criticize him and I'll make a video shit talking him, and then he'll send me a DM saying, hey, I'm more than willing to come on to talk about this, and then I bring him on. I mean, as much as I disagree with him from time to time, no other politician does that. They don't say, hey, person who's critiquing me, let's talk. That's really something that, I'm a YouTuber. Like, I'm not owed anyone's time,
Yeah, he's one of the few people
we're
that I feel like is actually aware of the space and is willing to talk with people and even reach out. Like, they've reached out to me too. Like, he's one of the only person that's done that. So he definitely is more progressive in that sense, and just in terms of the media aspect of it.
And he makes time for it too, to just talk to people that actually connect with younger, or just people that are online. I mean, most of the world is online today, which is so depressing. But if you really want to connect with people on a wide scale, he understands that, and he's not trying to still use 90s tactics nowadays. Rad dude. Hey, Ro, if you're watching, you definitely should say something in the chat, and we think you're cool.
He's lurking. We know it. No, you saying that he said that she needs to break with Biden gives me a little bit more hope, because I know that Senator Gary Peters from Michigan, who was talking with Politico, also said the same thing. He said that Harris needs to break with Biden, and he said he's going to tell her that when he talks to her. So I think that we're kind of seeing a lot more. If she has people saying you should break, then maybe that'll give her the confidence that she needs to actually pull a Hubert Humphrey, but hopefully before it's too late.
That's exactly what Rose said. He said she needs to do what Hubert Humphrey didn't do. She needs to do this early. She can't do this at the last second, because both of them knew the right thing to do. And
I would ask, is there? This is just what I'm floating. Like I've heard the argument that since Harris is in the administration and is very likely or can win, is there fear that if she plays her hand early, that Netanyahu is going to try and pull the U.S. into something deeper, into a regional war that's going to make it even tougher for the next administration to maneuver around? Like, is that part of the? Do you think that's part of the fear from the Harris campaign? Is just what
that feels like
reaction
wish
would be?
casting.
Yeah,
that feels like wish casting. I'm sure that's a concern.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that's a concern, but like, also, why are we acting like Netanyahu is like has any leverage over us? We are his sole sponsor.
It's because Biden has given him that leverage. That's like this fucking his brain is ossified. Like he cannot
literally at any time. This is like having a child like stare at you and be like, "No, we need to do this." When you could literally just pick
and then you hand them a knife.
Put them in bed. Yeah,
and then you hand them a box of knives, and then a gun.
And a gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a flamethrower, but it's one of the Elon Musk flamethrowers, so it's also gonna like hit both of you. No, you just stop handing knives. You don't need to do this. You need to just pick the kid up by the arms and throw him into bed.
I mean, this idea that we're fighting hard for a ceasefire, yet you keep giving them the weapons. Like you're not. If you fought that hard, why do you continue arming them? Like, what are you doing? So it's just so much. It's been so much bullshit.
Can't everyone be peaceful? I say as I hand everyone a gun. Like.
Yeah, it's insane.
To be fair, though, I mean, we're all being a little bit unfair to the Biden administration because there are reports from Barack Ravid that he was very, very forceful when he spoke with Netanyahu about a ceasefire. So,
poor guy.
How many articles have you seen about that? Oh, Biden was very angry on the phone.
Yeah, used a severe word, ass.
Yeah. Was it Emma Bigman said it was like Groundhog's Day seeing that headline? Like, how many times have we seen that fucking
we've seen
headline?
that over and over again.
Stern talking to you.
I do have a question for all of you, and it's not anything about politics. I just think everyone needs a quick break because, everything.
Oh, neat.
What are your 3 favorite preparations of potatoes?
It's a great palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Well, is mash and mash with gravy 2 different ones, or are those?
You can choose.
I
will take it.
If you only
as
get
one.
3, I would keep that.
Oh, well,
you can make mash with gravy and like discuss what you like about each if you want.
I'll go with a double baked with the fixins. I think for the first.
Nice.
Interesting. My first is mashed with gravy. Then probably scalloped is next.
See, I'm gonna say fried, like French fries.
But what type
waffle
of
fries?
Fried.
Waffle fries. Yeah.
Yeah, waffle fries, of course.
I like.
Oh shit! But now I've done tater tots dirty. Oh, that's rough.
Oh, there's also tater tots. Shit.
Oh, a Republican speaking. Oh God, what a treat!
Another one.
And this is the final hour. This is like the last hour of the fucking thing.
The most insane man on Twitter about fucking Palestine, and he can come up here and it's. Anyways, potatoes.
It's obscene.
Salt and vinegar chips.
Oh my god! I didn't even think about potato chip.
Yeah,
so many
same.
things.
I gotta sit and think about this.
Yeah, actually, I'll change fries to potato chips. That's number 1 for me, actually.
What type though? You got to be specific here.
I'm gonna say ridged potato chips, classic.
Just
classic,
original?
no flavors.
Ooh,
Original.
You're a
salt.
madman. Wow.
But with
that,
some
honestly.
like guacamole.
Yeah.
A little bit something salsa, guacamole, something like that.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
That sounds really good to me. I don't know.
I'd
I'm
put
craving it.
dill pickles. It got to be my chip. So it's always dill pickle or ketchup or.
They're Canadian, just
sour
FYI.
cream. Yeah, ketchup's good.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
We like ketchup.
They
chips.
don't taste like ketchup. They just call it ketchup chips. I don't know why.
I need y'all to stop.
Yeah, Canadians with the chip stuff. It's should be illegal. Actually, I think it is illegal in the United States to do that.
Speaking of which, I'll make my
Y'all
I got
Trader
number 3.
Joe's. Get fucked.
I'm gonna go real Canadian with it. I'm gonna say poutine. So we'll go poutine.
Oh,
with tater tots.
that's 100% number 1 poutine.
Yeah, I like
actually Smokes poutinery where there's like you could have there's a ton of different ingredients. Like I'd get probably the Mexican one where it's just like guacamole, sour cream, beef. Yeah, fries. There we go.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too. I haven't had a full like a hot meal all day. I'm so hungry.
Oh yeah, what's the food like there?
So we had the DNC did bring us blankets last night, which was nice. I mean, not what we asked for, but it was appreciated because it was cold. And also some pizza at like 2 a.m. And then we just kept eating the pizza till like 6 p.m. So it sat out in the sun. People brought food though. We had snacks. I had some goldfish, not the fish, the little snack crackers. Fruit by the foot. I had like 5 of those.
Oh, those are good.
Nice.
When was the last time you had one of those? Right?
10 years
I
ago.
was 8 or 9.
15 years ago.
I was 8 or 9. Well,
it's been a long time for
so
me.
specific.
Yeah.
I love it.
Decades.
I think we need to meet up and I'll get a bunch of fruit by the foot and just
that'd be so much
right
fun.
there.
Potatoes.
Bam. And potatoes.
Hell yeah.
We can have a potato.
Yes, lots of potatoes.
Hell
I like how
yeah.
there's nothing Adam Kinzinger could say that's more important than any of this.
There's not. Nothing you could possibly say. Unless he has opinions on potatoes, in which case.
Yeah, then I would want to hear.
Yeah. I was talking about the Constitution. Fuck that. Thoughts on like potato samosas?
Oh, great.
I don't think I've had one.
Yeah, I haven't had that either.
I love samosas.
Oh, samosas. Oh, delicious.
Oh, potato
What did you
mimosa.
think?
That's
Potato mimosa. I want to try that.
yeah. I was like, that's. I don't know. I'll try it, but.
Does shepherd's pie count as a potato preparation?
Oh,
yeah, it
shepherd's pie
does.
is really good.
For sure. Yeah, I think
I've
so.
never had shepherd's pie. Is it good?
Keep knocking out
Really?
my other choices.
If it's
now.
made properly,
I'm like,
it's
shepherd
good.
pie is amazing.
Actually,
I made
honest,
my
even
own
the frozen
shepherd's
ones
pie.
can be good. So,
Was it good, Mike?
have you?
Yeah, samosas.
I think it was really good. So my in-laws liked it and my husband liked it, but they could have been completely nice to me. But I thought it was good myself, so I feel like I crushed it. I followed the recipe to a T. I thought it was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
great.
not as good as the frozen ones, but still good nonetheless.
It's hot. Whoa, what was going on there? I had these. If anyone's in New York and Manhattan on like 58th and 6th, I want to say, over in Hell's Kitchen, there's this place called Chapa's, and you can get pho fries, and it's basically poutine, but with pho. So the gravy tastes exactly like pho broth, and then it has like
that sounds
beef on
amazing.
top, and it's sriracha
It sounds
and
real good.
hoisin, and it's so good.
That sounds real good.
That sounds fantastic.
Oh my God, Kat, you've made me so
Okay, now I'm
hungry
hungry too.
Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
starving
Yeah.
now.
Nothing here but water.
Okay, this is
And now
really
I'm
fun.
looking at
Thank you guys.
Kinzinger, and now I'm like, oh, I lost my appetite.
Yeah.
We could eat him.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. How would we prepare him though?
I think just a solid like roast is good, right?
I wanted to know, is the audience drunk? Is the atmosphere like very alcohol based there, or is everyone just like high on patriotism and
Oh
and
my God. So
America?
this is actually crazy. It's so funny because everything here is really expensive unless you're a creator, because then you can go in the creator lounge and they give you free drinks and
Oh, nice.
there's alcohol after 6, but like you have free sodas, free drinks. I'm pretty sure like I heard the entire convention is dry except for the creator spaces. Don't quote me on that. But that is what I heard from 3 different people, and then I just didn't investigate it any farther. But I do know that was the only place you could get free drinks and snacks, which is super fucked because we're just like random people on the internet, and there's like the press doing their actual jobs. They didn't even get like a specific liaison like we did. Not that they were helpful, but still.
I like that. I like that actually. It's about time that we're taken seriously.
They were just
I
like,
should've
here's a
learned.
whole bucket of Stella. Do you just want it? And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll just drink beer while I'm working. Cool. Y'all should have been here. Y'all should have come. Did y'all apply to be at the DNC?
I got emails. I was like, did I apply for this?
You got
like,
emails?
I got
No, I
an
didn't
email
get
to like there's like a
anything.
party on Saturday or something. Like I didn't apply to this, but I mean
Yeah.
I couldn't go.
I'm
but
not on their list.
I did not even think that I would be allowed, so the thought didn't even cross my mind. I don't know if I would
I'm
go
allowed.
if I
Why
was
wouldn't
invited.
you be allowed?
I don't know. Maybe I'll try to go next time. I kind of regret
Mike's a
not
radical
going now.
leftist. You're pretty extreme, so they probably
Yeah,
let
they'll
you.
just pull up my YouTube channel history and search all the shit talking I've done and be like, fuck this guy.
Maybe Harris saw everything I tweeted about Biden after the debate, and she was like, yeah, that bitch.
personal invite.
We were glazing her up hard, before Biden dropped out,
We
and after she
served
chose
this
Tim
up
Walz.
on a platter.
literally.
Yeah,
We
right?
deserve, like, the online leftists are.
Oh, we made
deserve
this happen.
everything. We deserve everything.
Yeah.
This was our gift to the world.
And,
Yeah.
and
Still
to
they
be
spit
fair,
on
she
us.
paid us back with walls. Like that was the
True.
perfect
That's
pick.
fair.
That's not enough.
Yeah.
No.
It's not
That was
enough,
pretty
but that was still a shocking decision that was actually made.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
true.
want a spot in the
It's not
administration
easy
though, since we made this happen. At least one YouTuber from the online left or Twitter poster. One of them will suffice. Pick one of us from a hat, doesn't matter. But that's what we're asking. That's our next ask.
For what? Just pick them. Where are they going?
You know what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
None of-
that's
you know,
the position.
it's not a real job anyway. Just somewhere, Treasury Secretary.
I love that.
Should we hear Kamala Harris's sister?
Yeah,
This
probably, right?
yeah. This one.
This
I'm
might be
interested
good compared to some of the other ones.
Country she'd ever known to chart her own path
I'll be
in
right back. I'm gonna grab
America.
my backpack.
She came here to pursue an education, but she stayed here to build a life. Her name was Dr. Shamala Gopalan Harris. But we called her Mommy. Mommy was so many things to so many people. A civil rights activist, a scientist, a devoted mother to her 2 little girls. But most of all, Mommy was a trailblazer who defied the odds and defined herself. And when it came to Kamala and me, Mommy had great expectations for us, but she had even greater expectations of us. She raised us to believe that we could be and do anything. And we believed her. You see, Mommy understood the power and the possibility that come with knowing and showing who you truly are. She knew we could be the authors of our own stories, just as she'd been the author of her own. Mommy's journey and the opportunity that she wanted for Kamala and me, that's a distinctly American story. We may all have different histories, different struggles, or different perspectives, but what binds us together is the fervent desire to be free, to fulfill our God-given potential. Kamala's entire life has been about fighting for each of us to have that freedom. And like so many
Apparently
Americans,
Beyonce backed out.
Kamala
What?
knows what it's like to be underestimated and
Let me
be
see.
counted out. She knows what it's like to be the
Going to bed
underdog
early tonight.
and yet still beat the odds. And now she has created so much electricity, so much optimism, so much joy throughout the nation, and it is why we need her leadership in this historic moment.
Her sister is a good speaker.
We are living
It's
in
just
a time
refreshing to hear someone who's not a
when
politician.
some
Right.
are trying to
Or,
divide
you
us.
know,
Yeah, she sounds like a
monsters.
normal person.
Separate us
Yeah,
in
yeah, which
ways
is
that
always
make
nice to
it
hear.
difficult for us
The
to come
opposite of
together.
JD Vance.
Right.
Look, my sister rejects that view. Where others push darkness, Kamala sees promise. Where others feel
Yeah, Pop Base just
detachment,
reported Beyonce is not coming.
Kamala fosters
Oh, wow.
connection.
So I guess it's Taylor
Where
Swift.
others want to
Oh,
drag
man.
That's a weird
us
thing to
back
leak.
to the past.
What if it was just like not either of
My
them?
sister said,
Just someone
"Hold
that-
up
It's
now.
telling you, it's Bill Burr.
We are
Bill Burr's
not
coming.
going
That's
back."
what it's going to be.
It's Adam Carolla.
Aye.
No, that's like day 1, 4:00 p.m. maybe.
Because
I don't know
Kamala
what you mean. I love him.
understands we have so much more in common
It
than
might
what
actually be George
separates
W.
us.
Bush. We'll see.
She knows
Oh my God,
the
please no.
measure
No.
of our success
Oh,
Don't
God.
manifest that.
isn't just winning an election.
That's
Can I
the
just
end
say,
of
like-
all
It's
the
about
coconut
who
tree
we
filled
bring
memes.
along
Everything's done.
and
It's
lift
over.
up
We're
in the
all
process.
bridled by what has been.
The speakers here, though, like when you're actually in the convention center,
And
it's
so as I look out at all of you today,
miserable to be in there. It's
I
so
take in
loud
this
and so
incredible
hard to
moment.
hear. Everything's
Oh, really?
distorted.
I so wish
Yeah.
The song
I
was
mean, I
saying the
skipped
energy
out
was
on
actually
speakers
kind of
here
intense.
after
tonight.
a second. I just hated it, and I just bounced.
I can just see
Oh, wow.
her
Huge day.
smiling, saying how proud she is of Kamala. And then, without missing a beat, she said, "That's enough. You got work to do." She would tell all of us to roll up our sleeves and get to work, to elect a leader who sees the potential in each of us, a leader who cares for all of us, a leader who fights for every one of us. Our Democratic nominee, my big sister, the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
There we go.
We only have 2 more. Wait, why is Roy
Oh,
Cooper
really?
second to last? That's insane.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw
wow.
that. That didn't make
What?
they know
Why
each
would you
other. I guess they work together when they had worked together apparently. So maybe that's why, but still weird.
Please welcome
Wow.
North
choice.
Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
Oh, this is weird.
Okay.
It would have made more sense for her sister to introduce her, right? Like,
Yeah.
This chat is
Absolutely.
great. Y'all have great predictions.
it's the Hawk Tua girls. It's
Hello,
funny.
The
America.
John Kasich.
I'm Roy Cooper,
John Case.
the last guy standing between you
I don't know much about
and
Roy
the
Cooper.
moment
Is he
we're
cool?
all waiting for.
I don't know.
So-
I've heard positive
So I'm
things
going to
about
get
him.
right to it.
He's kind of boring.
All
He's
week.
okay.
You've heard stories about my friend Kamala. I want to take you behind the scenes of one of them. 2011 was a rough time for American homeowners. Hundreds of thousands were losing their homes to illegal foreclosure. I was Attorney General in North Carolina, while Kamala had just become California's. All the AGs were close to a settlement with the big banks, and it was a pretty good deal. Would have meant $4 billion for California families who'd been ripped off. I know that sounds like a lot, but Kamala said, hang on a minute. I've met these families. I know what they've been through, and they deserve more. She
This is a
went
great story to
toe-to-toe with some of the world's most powerful executives, and she refused to give in. Let me tell you, this was a huge risk, but she knew it was a risk worth taking. That's Kamala. And we all know what happened. The banks caved. That $4 billion for California families became $20 billion. That was the first time I witnessed Kamala in action. And what I saw was a leader who does exactly what she says she's going to do, who never will settle for less. America, we got a lot of big fights ahead of us, and we've got one hell of a fighter ready to take them on. I know that because I know her. And tonight, I want the American people to know, even if you don't agree with her on everything, Kamala Harris will fight for you to the very end. For families who need better health care or a safer place to live, Kamala will fight for you. For parents who want better schools for their kids, for workers worried about a secure retirement for themselves, Kamala will fight for you. For any one of our allies, anywhere in the world,
Can I say something real quick?
wondering if America
Yeah, go
still
He
has your
sounds
back,
exactly like this
remember
lawyer
this.
that did
Kamala
commercials in
will
Dallas
fight
where I grew
for
up.
you.
His name is Jim
And
Adler,
when
and
she
he is, I'm
fights,
Jim Adler, the Texas
we
Hammer.
win.
And I will fight for just exactly like you said.
Kamala's
It was
ready.
really tripping me
Kamala's
up.
ready.
I
I
wanna
gave you a
find the
big
The
one.
commercial
question
now.
is, are we?
Huh?
I've got to find a commercial
Are
now.
we going to stand up and
Oh,
fight
John
for
Oliver did a
Kamala
whole thing
like
about
she'll
it.
stand up
Oh,
and fight
okay,
for
okay.
us?
I'll check it out.
All right. If you're ready, my home state of North Carolina, stand up. Stand up, Pennsylvania. Stand up, Michigan.
Oh no, every state.
Stand up, Wisconsin.
Why are we doing this?
Stand
After
up,
he said
Georgia.
North Carolina, I thought he was going
Stand
to
up,
quote P.D.
Nevada.
Pablo and be like, take your shirt off,
Stand up,
twist it around your head,
Arizona.
spin it like a helicopter.
Stand up, America.
Oh, he gave up.
Are we gonna stand up?
Okay, thank God. Oregon is never mentioned. I guess
Are
we're
we
just,
gonna fight?
fuck
You don't
us,
matter.
right? Yeah.
And the rest.
Are we gonna win?
Ooh.
Oh no, voice crack.
We are. Let's
Yeah,
go
you
get
never
'em.
escape no matter how old you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's well.
The best was Ron DeSantis at the RNC when he was like, and they don't even know what a woman is. It was like the worst crack ever.
It was the
I'm like,
perfect
bro,
time.
I would die if that happened to me.
It's honestly amazing he hasn't killed himself in the last year.
Your first grade
Right?
show up at your law school graduation. That's where Kamala Harris learned what it means to be in the middle class, making every paycheck count. She was raised by a working mom who taught her about standing up for what's right and protecting the people you love.
Kamala carries the lessons of our mother, the fighting spirit of our mother, the compassion.
She was all of 5 feet tall. If you met her, you would have thought she was 7 feet tall.
Tell us
And
the
our
coconut
mother,
tree.
if
I
I'd
love
ever
that
come
one.
home complaining about anything, she wouldn't have it. The first thing she'd say
They're not
is,
gonna
well,
put it
just
in
stop the complaining. Just
Or
tell me
maybe?
what
I
you're
don't
going to
think
do
so.
about it.
I would love it
Since
if
she
they
was a
did.
young girl, Kamala Harris has been fighting for families like the ones she grew up with.
That is Kamala. She can't help herself from standing up for people and standing up for what she thinks is right. She has been that way our whole lives. Being a protector is what led her to become a prosecutor. Looking back now, I could say it was her calling.
As a courtroom prosecutor, she went after predators who targeted women and children, and fraudsters who ripped off working families. And she put dangerous
That's a
gang
great
members
picture.
and human traffickers behind bars.
We didn't have partnerships with DOJ or FBI
They're really leaning into
or
the cop
DEA
thing.
or any of those law enforcement agencies. Now we all work
Thank God we get to hear from more
collaboratively.
Republicans.
She was the person who
Yeah.
built the foundation in how we do criminal justice in America.
Uh-oh.
As Attorney General of California, she held the big Wall Street banks accountable for fraud, winning $20 billion for California families. She took on one of the largest for-profit colleges that was scamming students. And in the Senate, she fought for her constituents with the determination of a prosecutor, standing up for reproductive freedom.
Can you think of any laws that give the government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm not thinking of any right now, Senator.
She fought to keep our children safe from the terror of gun violence.
I like
How
beer.
many of you guys had to have
still
a
likes
drill
beer.
where you learned about how you need to hide in a closet or crouch in a corner in the event that there is a mass shooter? Look at that. Look at that.
On the Intelligence Committee, she defended our nation against foreign adversaries. And in 2020, she made history as the first woman to be elected vice president of the United States. She cast the tie-breaking vote to deliver urgent relief to the American people during the pandemic.
I'm good,
She
thanks.
beat Big Pharma to lower prescription drug costs and cap the cost of insulin. And led the fight to restore reproductive rights after Roe v. Wade was overturned.
We have worked too hard and fought too long to see our daughters grow up in a world with fewer rights than our mothers.
Because she's never been afraid to stand up to powerful interests.
Sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open. Sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that door down.
Put that in there.
That's a good one.
Excuse my language.
Now, she's running for president, still fighting for families like the one she grew up with.
Our campaign is about saying we trust the people. We're saying we just want fairness. We want dignity for all people. And we are a work in progress. We haven't yet quite reached all of those ideals, but we will die trying because we love our country. We believe in our country. We're not falling for these folks who are trying to divide us, trying to pull us apart. We know what we stand for, and we stand for the people, and we stand for the dignity of work, and we stand for freedom. We stand for justice. We stand for equality.
How much you want to bet Taylor Swift's going to be on the stage after this?
For all of it.
That's Kamala Harris.
Think at the end?
That's what she believes.
I could see that maybe.
That's what she'll fight for
Is that
every
like
day.
be after?
Yeah.
George Bush has refuted,
guess it might
or
be
the
an
office of
interesting-
George Bush has refuted that he's not coming.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I love how like
There's
we
no
all
way
thought
they
that
would.
it was possible because Democrats would do something like
Well,
that.
the Democratic Party would, but the Harris campaign has, apart from the obvious issue, has been a lot better on like trying to separate themselves from that old Democratic Party.
That's true.
Please welcome
Look, she's
the
not perfect, but
Democratic
she
nominee for president,
for like
Vice President of the
candidate
United
that
States of
just
America,
understands
Kamala
stuff.
Harris.
He's gonna start a "From the River to the Sea" chant. Maybe the intro.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Bless.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Hillary Clinton's jaw is clenched so tight right now.
Yeah, I can hear it all the way over here.
Yep. So fucking happy for her.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening.
It's wild how much more comfortable she is than 4 years ago. Like she's such a better orator, campaigner.
Good evening.
Yeah, I agree.
My theory is she just spent the last 4 years staying under the radar, just in case.
Thank you.
She doesn't have any big scandals.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just been banking up
That
all the
makes sense.
juice.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Are there competing USA chants right now? Is that what I'm hearing?
All. Okay.
Epic.
We gotta get to some business.
Yeah, please.
We gotta get to some business. Okay. Thank you all. Okay. Thank you. 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 Please. Thank you. Please. Thank you so very much. Thank you,
I'm
everyone.
speaking. Drop
Thank
it, Kamala.
everyone.
Drop the hammer.
Thank
They're
you.
not stopping.
Okay, let's get to business. Let's get to business. All
I
right.
appreciate that she's trying not to let it go on.
Me
So,
too.
Yeah.
Let me
She's
start
probably sleepy.
by thanking my most
Oh, yeah.
incredible husband, Doug,
It's their anniversary, I think.
for
Oh,
being
that's
an
right,
incredible
yeah.
partner
Yeah, it's
to
really cute.
me, an incredible father to Cole and Ella, and happy anniversary, Dougie.
What are the chances?
I love
Wow.
you so very much. To our president, Joe Biden.
Is he here?
He tweeted a picture of him and
When
Jill
I think
watching
about
from a
the
TV
path that we
somewhere.
It's so
have
funny that
traveled
he's not
together,
there.
Joe, I am
Yeah.
filled with
It's so
gratitude.
funny.
Your record is extraordinary, as history will
I think
show. And your
He's on
character
vacation, I think.
is
He went on vacation after his
inspiring.
speech.
Oh.
Yeah,
And Doug
he
and
should
I
not have gone on
love you
vacation. This
and
is
Bill and are
DNC.
forever thankful to you both. And to Coach Tim Walls, you are going to be an incredible vice president.
I'm to the delegates and everyone who has put your faith in our campaign. Your support is humbling. So, America, the path that led me here in recent weeks was no doubt unexpected. But I'm no stranger to unlikely journeys. So, my mother, our mother, Kamala Harris, had one of her own. And I miss her every day, and especially right now. And I know she's looking down, smiling. I know that. So my mother was 19 when she crossed the world alone, traveling from India to California with an unshakable dream to be the scientist who would cure breast cancer. When she finished school, she was supposed to return home to a traditional arranged marriage. But as fate would have it, she met my father, Donald Harris, a student from Jamaica. They fell in love and got married, and that act of self-determination made my sister Maya and me. Growing up, we moved a lot. I will always remember that big Mayflower truck packed with all our belongings, ready to go to Illinois, to Wisconsin, and wherever our parents' jobs took us. My early memories of our parents together are very joyful ones. A home filled with laughter and music, Aretha, Coltrane, and Miles. At the park, my mother would say, "Stay close." But my father would say, as he smiled, "Run, Kamala, run. Don't be afraid. Don't let anything stop you." From my earliest years, he taught me to be fearless. But the harmony between my parents did not last. When I was in elementary school, they split up. And it was mostly my mother who raised us. Before she could finally afford to buy a home, she rented a small apartment in the East Bay. In the Bay, you either live in the hills or the flatlands. We lived in the flats. A beautiful working class neighborhood of firefighters, nurses, and construction workers, all who tended their lawns with pride. My mother, she worked long hours, and like many working parents, she leaned on a trusted circle to help raise us. Mrs. Shelton, who ran the daycare below us and became a second mother. Uncle Sherman, Aunt Mary, Uncle Freddie, Auntie Chris, none of them family by blood, and all of them family by love. Family who taught us how to make gumbo, how to play chess, and sometimes even let us win. Family who loved us, believed in us, and told us we could be anything and do anything. They instilled in us the values they personified: community, faith, and the importance of treating others as you would want to be treated, with kindness, respect, and compassion. My mother was a brilliant, 5-foot-tall, brown woman with an accent. And as the eldest child, I saw how the world would sometimes treat her. But my mother never lost her cool. She was tough, courageous, a trailblazer in the fight for women's health, and she taught Maya and me a lesson that Michelle mentioned the other night. She taught us to never complain about injustice, but do something about it. do something about it. That was my mother. And she taught us, and she also taught us, and never do anything half-assed. And that is a direct quote.
I'm just going to say it. I think this might be better than Trump's speech, his 90-minute, really coherent speech.
My parents.
If she can go on for 3 hours, though, maybe she'll beat him.
Oh my
And they made
god.
Oh
sure
God, that would
we
be
learned
great.
about civil rights leaders, including the lawyers like Thurgood Marshall and Constance Baker Motley.
Maybe we should call up Benjamin Netanyahu right there and just be like, fuck you.
Real
Yeah.
promise of America.
I'd be
So,
cool if
at
she
a
like she was like, let's do arms embargo. It's like, okay, we don't need a speaker. Thank you.
I wanted to
Yeah, right.
And when it
That's
came
totally fine.
time to choose the type of law I would pursue,
I'm holding out hope.
I reflected on a pivotal moment in my life.
Or at least just like the words permanent
You see, when I was
ceasefire.
in high school,
cool.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
started
nice.
to notice something
I don't think she's
about
gonna
my
bring it
best
up at
friend
all.
Wanda.
I bet you will.
She was sad at school.
She'll say like ceasefire in
And there were
Gaza.
times
She'll
she
bring
didn't
that
want
up.
to go home. So one day I asked if everything was all right, and she confided in me that she was being sexually abused by her stepfather. And I immediately told her she had to come stay with us, and she did. This is one of the reasons I became a prosecutor, to protect people like Wanda, because I believe everyone has a right to safety, to dignity, and to justice. As a prosecutor, when I had a case, I charged it not in the name of the victim, but in the name of the people. For a simple reason. In our system of justice, a harm against any one of us is a harm against all of us.
Except Palestinians.
And I would often explain
Honestly,
this
harm against Palestinians.
to sole survivors of crime.
As many who joke
to
here.
remind them
I'm sorry. 3
no
hours of
one
sleep. Don't have a
should
joke.
be made to
Can't
fight
talk.
alone. We are all in
Good bill.
this together.
Thank you.
And every day in the courtroom, I stood proudly before a judge and I said 5 words: Kamala Harris for the people. And to be clear, my entire career, I've only had one client, the people. And so, on behalf of the people, on behalf of every American, regardless of party, race, gender, or the language your grandmother speaks, on behalf of my mother and everyone who has ever set out on their own unlikely journey, on behalf of Americans like the people I grew up with, people who work hard, chase their dreams, and look out for one another, on behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America. And with this election,
I like the extreme zooms.
and with this election, our nation with this election has a precious, fleeting opportunity to move past the bitterness, cynicism, and divisive battles of the past, a chance to chart a new way forward. Not not as members of any one party or faction, but as Americans. And let me say, I know there are people of various political views watching tonight, and I want you to know, I promise to be a president for all Americans. You can always trust me to put country above party and self, to hold sacred America's fundamental principles, from the rule of law to free and fair elections, to the peaceful transfer of power. I will be a president who unites us around our highest aspirations, a president who leads and listens, who is realistic, practical, and has common sense, and always fights for the American people. From the courthouse to the White House, that has been my life's work. As a young courtroom prosecutor in Oakland, California, I stood up for women and children against predators who abuse them. As Attorney General of California, I took on the big banks, delivered $20 billion for middle-class families who faced foreclosure, and helped pass a homeowner Bill of Rights, one of the first of its kind in the nation. I stood up for veterans and students being scammed by big for-profit colleges, for workers who are being cheated out of their wages, the wages they were due, for seniors facing elder abuse. I fought against the cartels who traffic in guns and drugs and human beings, who threaten the security of our border and the safety of our communities. And I will tell you, these fights were not easy, and neither were the elections that put me in those offices. We were underestimated at practically every turn, but we never gave up, because the future is always worth fighting for. And that's the fight we are in right now, a fight for America's future. Fellow Americans, this election is not only the most important of our lives, it is one of the most important in the life of our nation. In many ways,
So
Donald
insane how
Trump
much of a
is
better
an
candidate she is
unserious
than
man.
Hillary.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But the
And Biden,
consequences,
it's crazy.
but the consequences of putting Donald Trump back in the White House are extremely serious.
She's also a great
Consider- She does have
communicator too.
Consider.
She is, and like she
not
has politician
only
brain, of
the
course. Like, you know, that little like bit
and
of politician
calamity when he
narcissism
was
that you can tell she
in
has like
office, but also the
thoughts and
gravity
feelings.
of what has
It's not like Josh
happened
Shapiro where
since
it's just
he
like
lost the last
ready to become
election.
president constantly.
Donald
Right.
Trump
She probably
tried
like
to throw away your
brings
votes.
cosmos
When he failed,
Right.
he sent an
or other
armed
things,
mob
maybe.
to the United States Capitol, where they assaulted law enforcement officers. When politicians in his own party begged him to call off the mob and send help, he did the opposite. He fanned the flames. And now, for an entirely different set of crimes, he was found guilty of fraud by a jury of everyday Americans, and separately found liable for committing sexual abuse. And consider what he intends to do if we give him power again. Consider his explicit intent to set free violent extremists who assaulted those law enforcement officers at the Capitol. His explicit intent to jail journalists, political opponents, and anyone he sees as the enemy. His explicit intent to deploy our active duty military against our own citizens. Consider the power he will have, especially after the United States Supreme Court just ruled that he would be immune from criminal prosecution. Just imagine Donald Trump with no guardrails.
I think it sounds
And
fun,
how
you know?
he would use the immense powers of the presidency of the United States, not to improve your life, not to strengthen our national security, but to serve the only client he has ever had, himself. And we know what a second Trump term would look like. It's all laid out in Project 2025, written by his closest advisors, and its sum total is to pull our country back to the past. But America, we are not going back.
Oh, she said the
We
line.
are not going back.
Say the line,
We are
Bart.
not going back. We are
Do you think we'll
not
get
going back
any
to
context?
when Donald
Lance?
Trump
No,
tried to
I don't know if
cut
she's going to mean
Social
it. Maybe.
Security and Medicare.
I
We
wanna
are
be here
not
then.
going back to when he tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act.
I
when
like how
insurance
shitty
companies
Democratic
could
strategists
deny
were like,
people
we're
with
not going back, it's too
pre-existing
negative. Do a
conditions.
different line.
We are
I'm
not
glad it's not
going to
like
let him eliminate the
Stop saying
Department of
weird.
Education
It's
that
too-
funds
it's
our
too
public
controversial.
schools. We are not going to let him end programs like Head Start that provide preschool and childcare for our children. America, we are not going back. And we are charting a new way forward. Forward to a future with a strong and growing middle class, because we know a strong middle class has always been critical to America's success. And building that middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency. And I'll tell you, this is personal for me. The middle class is where I come from. My mother kept a strict budget. We lived within our means, yet we wanted for little. And she expected us to make the most of the opportunities that were available to us and to be grateful for them. Because as she taught us, opportunity is not available to everyone. That's why we will create what I call an opportunity economy, an opportunity economy where everyone has the chance to compete and a chance to succeed. Whether you live in a rural area, small town, or big city. And as president, I will bring together labor and workers and small business owners and entrepreneurs and American companies to create jobs, to grow our economy, and to lower the cost of everyday needs like healthcare and housing and groceries. We will provide access to capital for small business owners and entrepreneurs and founders. And we will end America's housing shortage and protect Social Security and Medicare.
Seems vague. Hopeful, but vague.
Now compare that to Donald Trump, because I think everyone here knows he doesn't actually fight for the middle class. He doesn't actually fight for the middle class. Instead, he fights for himself and his billionaire friends. And he will give them another round of tax breaks that will add up to $5 trillion to the national debt. And all the while, he intends to enact what in effect is a national sales tax, call it a Trump tax, that would raise prices on middle-class families by almost $4,000 a year. Well, instead of a Trump tax hike, we will pass a middle-class tax cut that will benefit more than 100 million Americans. Friends, I believe America cannot truly be prosperous unless Americans are fully able to make their own decisions about their own lives, especially on matters of heart and home. But tonight, in America, too many women are not able to make those decisions. And let's be clear about how we got here. Donald Trump handpicked members of the United States Supreme Court to take away reproductive freedom. And now he brags about it. In his words, quote, "I did it and I'm proud to have done it," end quote. Well, I'll tell you, over the past 2 years, I've traveled across our country, and women have told me their stories. Husbands and fathers have shared theirs. Stories of women miscarrying in a parking lot, developing sepsis, losing the ability to ever again have children, all because doctors are afraid they may go to jail for caring for their patients. Couples just trying to grow their family, cut off in the middle of IVF treatments. Children who have survived sexual assault, potentially being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. This is what's happening in our country because of Donald Trump. And understand, he is not done. As a part of his agenda, he and his allies would limit access to birth control, ban medication abortion, and enact a nationwide abortion ban with or without Congress. And get this, he plans to create a national anti-abortion coordinator and force states to report on women's miscarriages and abortions.
Is that JD Vance?
Simply put, they are out of their minds.
I think that's the thing with JD Vance had mentioned on the podcast.
That's a really good line, yeah.
And
He's a freak.
One must ask, why exactly is it that they don't trust women? Well, we trust women. We trust women.
Good line.
And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. In this election,
Seems like a pretty intense place
many
for a baby.
other fundamental freedoms are at
And it's
stake.
sleeping?
The freedom
Yeah.
to feel safe from gun
Can
violence,
you have, like, little headphones on?
schools, communities, and
Yeah.
places of worship. The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. The freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water and live free from the pollution that fuels the climate crisis. And the freedom that unlocks all the others, the freedom to vote. With this
How much
election,
legislation that Biden
we
just let Joe Manchin
finally
take?
have the
Cool.
opportunity to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act.
Could have happened this administration, but cool.
Next time.
Next
And
time.
let me be clear. After decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border. Last year,
Oh, great.
Joe and I
Here it
brought
comes.
together Democrats and conservative Republicans
Hate
to write
this.
the strongest border bill in decades. The Border Patrol endorsed it. But Donald Trump believes
It's the most
a
cursed
border
sentence. The
bill
Border Patrol likes this.
I know. I was like, shitty.
So he ordered his allies.
If anyone's
in
like, the Border
Congress to
Patrol
kill
likes
the
this,
deal.
it's like, nope, no.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
refuse to
bad for
play
people, then?
politics with our security. And here is my pledge to you. As president, I will bring back the bipartisan border security bill that he killed, and I will sign it into law.
I hope she breaks this promise.
I
We need immigration
know.
reform, not this
I know
fascist
we
draconian
can live
bullshit.
up to our proud heritage as a nation of immigrants and reform our broken immigration system. We can create an earned pathway to citizenship and secure our border.
At least she mentioned pathway to citizenship, because that hasn't happened from Democrats in a while, honestly, I feel like.
And America, we must also be steadfast in advancing our security and values abroad. As
Uh-oh.
Vice President, I have confronted threats to our security, negotiated with foreign leaders, strengthened our alliances, and engaged with our brave troops overseas. As Commander-in-Chief, I will ensure America always has the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world. And I will fulfill our sacred obligation to care for our troops and their families, and I will always honor and never disparage their service and their sacrifice.
I feel like lethal wasn't needed there. Like, you
No,
don't
that
have to say
really
lethal.
kicked it up a notch.
That is not necessary.
Yeah.
I will
Oh,
make
God.
sure that we
Oh god, and the
lead
fucking
world
USA chant after that shit.
into the future on space and artificial intelligence, that America, not
What?
China, wins the competition for the
What?
21st century,
Why?
and that we strengthen,
Why
not
are we talking about
abdicate
AI?
our global
What is happening?
leadership.
Oh, don't say that,
On
Kamala.
the other hand,
Kamala, please just like ban AI in Google searches. That's all I want. I would pay extra for a
Yes.
search engine that doesn't give me
to
AI results.
invade our allies, said
I pay like
Russia
$20
could,
a month.
quote, do whatever the hell they want. 5
How did
days
AI go
Russia
before
attacked
Russia? Okay.
Ukraine, I met with President Zelensky to warn him about
Oh,
Russia's
she's ramping
plan
it
to
up.
invade. I helped mobilize a global response over 50 countries to defend against Putin's aggression.
Damn, she sounds strong as hell.
And as president, I will stand strong with Ukraine and our NATO allies.
I feel like if you're going to include this, like have this in the middle or the start somewhere. Don't
With respect
don't put this near the end.
to the war in Gaza,
Okay, here we
President
go.
Biden and I are working around the clock because
Yeah, sure.
now is the time to get a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done.
Permanent? Permanent.
And
And
nothing
let
new
me
here.
be clear. And let me be clear. I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself. And I will
Very clear.
always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself, because the people of Israel must never again face the horror that a terrorist organization called
No, they can just do
Hamas
it.
caused on October
Summer.
7,
That's summer now.
including unspeakable sexual violence and the massacre of young people. and
What
the
is
music
going on?
It's
At the same time,
The discredited
At the same
fucking
what
reports.
has happened in in Gaza over the past
true.
10 months is devastating. So many innocent lives lost. Desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety over and over again. The scale of suffering is heartbreaking. President Biden and I are working to end this war such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination.
Okay, that's good.
That Palestinian line got the biggest applause out of anything so far.
Yeah, I know.
It's unfortunate she has to feel this desire to ramp up on Israel before saying it.
Action is necessary to defend our forces and our interests against Iran and Iran-backed terrorists.
It's just so fucked up
I will
framing
not
that
cozy
way.
up
It's
to
not a
tyrants
war.
and dictators like Kim Jong-un who are rooting for Trump.
The focus group definitely said you need to ramp up the war stuff. This is where people.
She listens to the wrong voices in the room on this one.
They know Trump won't hold autocrats accountable because he wants to be an autocrat himself. And as president,
America
I
is
will
aligned with
never
like
waver in
70% of the
defense
world's
America's
dictatorships, if
security
not
and
more.
ideals, because in the enduring struggle between democracy and tyranny, I know where I stand and I know where the United States belongs. So fellow Americans, I love our country with all my heart.
That's what follows that whole thing?
Everywhere I go, everyone I meet, I see a nation that is ready to move forward, ready for the next step in the incredible journey that is America. I see an America where we hold fast to the fearless belief that built our nation and inspired the world, that here in this country, anything is possible, that nothing is out of reach. An America where we care for one another, look out for one another, and recognize that we have so much more in common than what separates us. That none of us has to fail for all of us to succeed. And that in unity there is strength. You know, our opponents in this race are out there every day denigrating America, talking about how terrible everything is. Well, my mother had another lesson she used to teach. Never let anyone tell you who you are. You show them who you are. America, let us show each other and the world who we are and what we stand for. Freedom, opportunity, compassion, dignity, fairness, and endless possibilities.
Endless wars.
We are the heirs to the greatest democracy in the history of the world. And on behalf of our children and our grandchildren and all those who sacrificed so dearly for our freedom and liberty, we must be worthy of this moment. It is now our turn to do what generations before us have done, guided by optimism and faith, to fight for this country we love, to fight for the ideals we cherish, and to uphold the awesome responsibility that comes with the greatest privilege on earth, the privilege and pride of being an American.
Pride, shame, tomato,
So
tomato.
let's get out there. Let's fight for it. Let's get out there. Let's vote for it. And together, let us write the next great chapter in the most extraordinary story ever told. Thank you. God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all.
So there's a report from about an hour ago that the uncommitted delegates, they were trying to get into the convention arm in arm, and they were trying to get to the floor to take their seats. They were not allowed in.
The foreign policy stuff tanked that speech. I thought the speech was great, and then she got to foreign policy. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like, I felt like I was watching a TV show where like the protagonist is actually the bad guy. It's like, what the fuck? Like when they make the turn and there's the twist. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck is she saying here? That whole section. If you're gonna have that, put it, I don't know, in the middle somewhere near the beginning so we forget about it, or at least I don't know, not forget about it, but drown it out with something else. That ended terribly.
I think that the speech overall was okay. I think that the policy stuff, I was looking for more. And on the campaign trail, she's referenced policies, but they were pretty vague. Like I wasn't expecting her to go full Bernie Sanders and be like, and we're gonna expand dental, hearing, and vision, and get really into the specifics. But I think that more of a focus on policy, I think, would have been better than the personal stuff. The personal stuff was good. I expect that.
I get what
but I
they
feel
do
like
with
it was a little light on the substance, in my opinion. And the foreign policy part, totally agree. 0 out of 10 for that part.
Kat, do you have any opinions? Any thoughts?
I'm depressed. Like, for real. I was so disappointed. She said the worst possible thing she could. Like, she could have done a different. She could have, hedged her bets on both sides or something. And instead, what she said was, we can give the budget of 3 NASAs to Israel per year. So that way they can defend themselves. Meaning, if they're just doing a numbers game here, which we love to do as America, that the 186,000 number at the Lancet, it's definitely much higher. I mean, it's a conservative estimate. Meaning that how many died on October 7th? 2,000? 3,000?
1,200?
It was about 1,100, I think.
Well, let's just say 3,000 to be really generous is for every 3,000, whatever the math is, every 3,000 Israeli lives is worth 200,000 Palestinian rapist lives. That's what I heard. And that's, if I really want to do some coping here, I can hope she's doing a Jimmy Carter thing and get in and actually do something, because this completely shocked me, frankly, that she would go this hard, that she would go full Biden on this. Maybe that'd be cool, but that was really...
I feel like part of just hearing how she planned it out, how that speech was written out or laid out.
Yeah.
She started with the obvious, the Israel stuff was disgusting, but it seemed like a way for her to, I think she said a lot more on Gaza than she's ever said, for sure. more than Biden's definitely ever said. In terms
But
of
she didn't say anything that
hunger.
was
Well, she mentioned. I don't think she's ever mentioned the hunger, the humanitarian crisis. Like she's at.
Yes.
There were things there that were said that she hadn't said before. But but compared to what she said in defense of Israel, it was nowhere near what she should have said on
Well,
the
the
Palestinian front. Like if she's going to
the
set
thing
that
that
up,
she
then do it
the
hard.
thing is, like, she said much better things about this. Like, she has this one interview from a couple months ago where she's talking about how much, like, how, like, the rations and the water crisis in Gaza right now. And she's like, you know, they just get flour, but how are you supposed to cook something with just flour? Like, I love cooking, and, like, brought it down to, like, a really human level. And it was something that, like, really resonated with me. I was like, wow, maybe she, like, that's the only reason that I'm like, maybe this is just like a straight up Jimmy Carter trying to get into governor strategy, like doing fucking dog whistles. But I mean, it's America, so.
Yeah. She talked about how, like, the specifics, like things that Biden wouldn't even think of, like, are women in Gaza getting feminine hygiene products, like really important things that aren't being discussed or even considered. So to see her, like, I'm glad that she mentioned Gaza. But she went so hard in the opposite direction, it almost negated the goodwill that she built up with me, anyways, by
She shouldn't have
mentioning
mentioned it at
Gaza.
all.
Yeah,
She honestly
like,
shouldn't have if that's what she was going to do. She was going to say that.
Yeah.
Talk about sexual assault specifically of something that, like, that's these are discredited reports. These are completely discredited reports. Like, sexual assault centers in Israel are like, these are not real. To cite that specifically, you know, there are,
especially when the opposite's the truth.
yeah, exactly. I mean, there are rape camps.
It's Joe Biden's
in
speech.
Israel.
It feels like something Joe Biden would have said. It feels like the Joe Biden, DNC acceptance speech.
The whole thing, I mean, it's like rape is used to dehumanize the other so often in history. I mean, that's, you know, Emmett Till was fucking lynched for, you know, looking, or was he accused of groping a woman? I can't remember. Not that it was real or anything. It's this idea that, like, this other person can sully you with their sexual advances. Sorry if there's noise or people coming out.
No problem at all.
And it's just like this, like,
I keep forgetting this is happening right behind you. That's a trip.
Yeah. It's, you know, of course, Hamas, they would go in with rape first thing on their mind because they're, I want to go to bed so bad. And I still have to do a whole panel thing in like 15 minutes.
You have to do a full panel now? Oh, wow.
Yeah, bro,
I'm super excited. I'm just
kill
watching
myself.
this on TV.
Oh my god, I don't know how you have it in you, Kat, honestly.
I am probably going to
Yeah, me neither.
in a second.
Well, I thought that I would have like different clothes, but I'm been wearing the same clothes since 6 a.m. yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I thought that, like, she should have ended on reproductive justice very obviously. That's like the number one issue. She literally, she could have just focused, and she didn't say two-state solution. She said self-determination. What the fuck does that mean?
Right.
It's very clearly taking a side, and like, just so I don't completely lose my fucking mind tonight, like, there's a little part of me that's going to indulge in like the copium fantasy of like, she's doing this so she'll get elected, but like, fuck. I can't even imagine.
I still think she will get elected. I think her chances are really strong. I think they're basically playing into all the tropes they want, like, to be very electable. They're just very, very scary and frightening to me, personally. But like, I'm not really worried for their campaign. I'm more kind of just now terrified of what the Harris administration will continue to be doing on the geopolitical front.
Right, and like, she's been making some really bold moves lately, and it's like, why? I think continuing to make those is a really good move, but obviously, you know, I'm a rapist savage, so what do I know?
Yeah,
sorry, I'm a huge downer right now.
No,
also,
no,
I think that speech. I think that speech was a downer.
Yeah, the speech was a downer.
And again, just it goes back to the whole. Yeah, no singers. And then no speech for the Palestinian American. It didn't happen. Like, I was holding out a little bit of hope that maybe it would happen. It would come in late. And speaker after speaker, you know, we got really we got speakers that we could have done without, multiple ones, but we did not get Rua Roman, which I think is despicable and a very cowardice move
I
by
can't
the
even
DNC
imagine
and
how she's
Harris.
feeling right now. She looked so defeated when we like all split up when the delegates went in and the rest of us were cleaning up. And, I thanked her for everything. And she was just, I can't imagine how she's feeling right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, essentially, Harris just said, we're going to keep giving bombs to keep bombing a open air prison. You can't leave. Like they can't leave. There's nowhere to go. We could stop giving bombs so that way people could at least escape or be like, here are the bombs with conditions. But, and it wasn't like we're arming them so like the Holocaust doesn't happen ever again. Because it's like, the line, it's so October 7th doesn't happen again, which horrible, anything that happens to civilians, I don't like. As someone that's like studied a lot of war, in any hypothetical sexual assault, especially in war, men are fucking evil. If there's any conflict at all, that will happen. I like the idea of what we did in World War II, where if any American soldiers like raped a civilian, they would just instantly hang him. I think that's great, cool. Let's do that. Very on the record about that. But like, I forgot where I was going with this. Sorry, I'm so fucking pissed off. Scallops, potatoes, those are good.
That seems like years ago when we were having the potato conversation.
Bring back
We were so innocent back then. It was a different time, and anything was possible. Goddamn.
I've been streaming this shit all week. I think I'm ready to go to bed. Mike, I'm sorry if you got to do these super chats yourself. I don't have many anyways, so I'm gonna miss a few, but they're mostly yours probably, or I guess
I'll run through them pretty
vendors.
quickly. Yeah.
But I need to go to bed. Good night, Kat. Thanks for coming on, and
Thank you for having me. Sorry if I overstayed my welcome.
Oh
No,
you're definitely not.
It was so great to have you.
You're 100% welcome to stay.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna stay till Medi gets here because like, what else am I gonna do?
Nice.
All right. Good night.
Take care, David.
Good night.
Bye, David.
Yeah. I feel like the wind has been taken out of my sails a little bit.
The
I've been
majority
trying...
report just rated us. Be entertaining,
nice.
everyone. Say hi to the majority report.
Majority report, folks. Nice to see
Hey,
you.
everyone who's coming in here from the majority report, can you let me know what Sam and Emma's reaction was to that whole like, let's arm everyone and invade the world speech?
Our army's gonna be lethal.
The lethal army, and we gotta go after Kim Jong-un. Bring out the classics.
Everyone hated it.
They were not enthused. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I imagine so.
Okay. So,
Kat, Mike, do you guys want to plug yourselves to the majority report audience?
Can you want Mike? You go. You're a man.
No, go ahead, Kat.
Okay, sorry, once again, VR's asleep. Kat Abu, that's my name. You can find me on TikTok, Kat M Abu, or on YouTube, Kat M as in monkey Abu. Or you can just like look up my name. I have a really long last name. So is there something still happening? Okay, anyways.
She's exactly at the event, so she's like our reporter on the ground.
I'm at the DNC
Yeah.
right now. Yeah, you watch my videos. I do videos. I'm so tired. Mike, what are you up to?
Awesome Mother Jones videos, by the way. Been loving watching those.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kat, you're crushing it, by the way. I don't think we've ever like spoken on camera, but we're mutuals, but like always
We're
appreciate
mutuals. That means we're
work.
best friends.
Yeah, of
I
course.
appreciate your work, all of y'all.
Thank you. Yeah,
And thank you.
you're
This is my
amazing.
first time I've ever been able to come on here because, like, when I was at MMFA, everything had to go through comms, and then
Right.
yeah, so I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, you'll have to come back when there's not like a convention and when we can be a little bit happier.
And we're
depending on the
not
news.
all depressed.
We're all of a sudden
Potato
like the party's
competition.
over.
Yeah, potatoes. Don't forget the potatoes.
Yeah, the party's over. The reality has set back in, I think, for a lot of us. And yeah, we're back to the whole, well, Alicia's not Trump. We got Tim Walz, right? When
Oh, hold
Tim
on.
Walz.
Hey, ready? Do you want? Well, I'm on the surf with the Serfs right now. Do you want to say hi? Surf.
I can't hear anyone. But
Oh, no way.
Maddie.
Very nice to finally meet you.
All right, guys, I gotta go. Bye.
Okay, take care,
bye.
Kat. I'm gonna put in the title now with Kat Abu and Mehdi Hassan. It was a second.
Mehdi Hassan. That was crazy. Oh man, I was about to like fanboy out because I was like, oh, I'm actually a huge fan of your work.
Yeah, I fucking love Mehdi. Okay, do you want to read your stuff first?
I can just quickly go through. I don't have a lot of super chats. I have some pretty big donations on Twitch. First, The Majority Report. Thank you so much for the raid. Everyone go to twitch.tv/The Majority Report. Give them a follow back. Sir Nickis too. Thank you for the outrageously generous 20 gifted subs. That's so incredible of you, and I cannot thank you enough. And also for the Prime. Queen Mother of the Court. Thank you for resubscribing. Satiated Skater. Thank you for subscribing. Reikreen. Thank you for resubscribing. And then finally, I have $5 from Parker that says Beyonce will be doing a duet performance with George Bush. Luckily, neither of them appeared, and I'm happy that George Bush was not there. But it was, I didn't think I'd be saying this, Mike, but that was scary enough without George Bush.
If he came on that fucking stage after Leon Panetta and after that Kamala speech, right now we'd be in a different place mentally, I think. So,
oh my God. Yeah. No, thank you.
Let's count our blessings.
And then finally, thank you, Flying Squirrel 83 for the $3 with the message, thank you for your coverage. And then Rainbow Flag, Trans Flag, and the Palestinian flag, and Looney Tunes 9000 with the $1.99 and the message, yum, and a yum to you. And take it away,
Beautiful.
Mike.
Okay, so we've got quite a bit, so I'm going to rush through these here as fast as I can. Don't know if they're for me or David Doel. Either way, much appreciated. Could be for Matt Binder as well, because he's also streaming to his channel, even though he's not here. He will be back next week, as will Rebecca. But without further ado, Tifa Lockhart divorce wedding dress. I think that's Dom. Nice to see you, Dom. Vote for future guests. Rathbone, Rick Strom, TYT Sports, Francesca Fiorentini, Bituation. All great options. Rick Strom would be awesome. Francesca would be amazing as well to have back. Rathbone sounds really familiar, but I'm blanking at the top of my head. But yeah, thank you for the recommendations. Tokyo Hans with 500 yen, thank you. It is indeed important to properly pronounce Kamala Devi Harris. Emphasis is key. Devi Harris. It might be too late for my brain to comprehend that, Tokyo, so I apologize if I'm not picking up with what you're putting down. Lance, do you have anything?
I do not.
Okay.
Except, congratulations for the 500 yen. That is
Thank
awesome.
you. Or congrats to David Doel. I did not check
yes,
this.
Or to David Doel. David Doel received it.
or Matt. Koru. Seems to me hope is what we have here, and hope the excitement does not die. Well said. Well said. 0 PE with $4.99. Thank you. Did y'all hear on status coup Cornel West said Harris's campaign asked him to drop out in exchange for a cabinet position and pay his campaign debts? I have not seen that. That's really interesting. I'd be curious to know what they offered him and what he said. Because if I were the Kamala campaign, I would be trying to court over third-party voters for sure, and the candidates. So yeah, that makes sense. It's a savvy move rather than complaining about them. Definitely try to win them over. Tokyo Hans, member super chat. I have been measuring the performance at the DNC by TOJs. Tears of Joy. So far, 20 minutes in, have been dry. They need to pick up the game. Yeah, well, spoiler alert for anyone, just tuning in. And you go back.
It gets scary.
Yeah, doesn't get much better, folks. Tokyo again. Thank you, Tokyo. 500 yen. Sad Matt isn't on Leftist Mafia today, but excited to see Harris introduce him so he can announce the Figueredo Binder nomination for the Democratic Party.
We need you both more than ever. Have you spoken to Matt? Yeah, 2028.
I have not. We're thinking about getting the campaign staff back together, call up our crew, our campaign manager. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk for sure. Asymptomatic behavior, $5. Thank you. They could have connected the gun violence segment to the war on Palestine. They could have, but I think that's something they are very afraid to do. Fly Chomper Fly, $2. David, you're going to interview Jay Sheridan regarding the Flint book. I'm sure that they'll be in communication, or if not already. I was talking to Jordan about this as well a while ago. I need to follow up with him, though. But yeah, that'd be something I'm interested in. I want to read the book first, though, for sure, which looks amazing. The Lumpen Lodge with $5. Thank you. MAGA is going to conduct false flags to frame smear Palestine supporters and leftists since their staged assassination attempt flopped. Be vigilant. I wouldn't say it was staged. But I'll agree with the sentiment that they're going to do dirty things to win because, they're Republicans. Fuggy Bootling with $5 Canadian. Rachel Platten did Fight Song. Kyle K once sang Gonna Lose to the Trump song after she lost. Oh my God, that's true. Oh, hey, guess what? Look who it is.
Oh,
Bender.
Matt Bender dropping in.
Bender, how you feeling?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you,
I can hear you
yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah, good. I'm in Florida, and I thought I'd jump in and say hello while I'm have a second.
Nice to see you. Are you at Disneyland or Disney World right now?
I am at Disney World right now. Here, look. Here I am.
Oh, wow.
That's so magical.
There's Baloo.
Oh my God.
We gotta blur it out. This is copywritten content.
Yeah. Matt, so nice to see you. The chat misses you. Tokyo Holland just sent in a super chat saying, I wish Matt was here, and then you appeared. So it's like he summoned you.
Yeah, I'm glad that I've been summoned by Tokyo Hans.
Yeah.
I miss it too, honestly. Well, no, I'll say I did miss it until today. And then I saw what was going on, and I didn't see the speech. So if you guys want to update me on how her speech was, but
Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
It's three quarters exactly what you'd expect in terms of like telling her life story, telling about the family struggle, middle class upbringing, her dad's story, mom's story, all that's paint by numbers, exactly what you'd expect. Then she starts leaning into the border issues, then starts leaning into the kind of the tough on crime, cop stuff, then gets into geopolitics, and it was like war hawkish. Like, I need to ensure America has the most lethal army in the world. And I was like, oh my God, this is... She used the term lethal. She said lethal, the most lethal army in the world. Yeah. I was like, oh no.
She brought up Gaza and talked about the suffering for a few seconds, not before premising that with a lot of pro-Israel glazing.
It was
really
hardcore
demoralizing
stuff. Yeah, it was scary. And
so not what we had hoped for. Mid-speech overall, if you remove all of the warmongering and the xenophobia stuff, not great, honestly. Very mid-tier. Yeah.
She even brought up Kim Jong-un. I was like, in 2024. The DNC,
like, bro,
we're still doing this.
He's just playing PS5. He's not relevant.
Yeah, I know, right?
Is he gonna bomb us? Like, what?
Damn, I didn't know what to expect. But judging by like the past couple of days, what I was seeing online, it seemed like just your generic DNC. Like, I didn't feel like I missed anything. Did I miss anything over the past few days? I've been trying to keep.
There were some good speeches. Michelle Obama's speech was good. I think that Doug Emhoff's speech was good. Tim Walz, of course, crushed it. There was a moment with his son that was really, really touching.
I saw that. I know the right is going after his 17-year-old son now, right?
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
In the scummiest ways.
Yeah, but that was a beautiful moment. Made me choke up. Tonight was a really bad night overall. I think I would say it was the worst night, worse than Monday, which is when you kind of hide everything.
Who was the? I saw there was gonna be some big surprise guest. Was it Taylor Swift? Was it Beyonce? I saw
it was nobody.
It was nobody.
We didn't get a surprise guest.
Beyonce was supposed to come, and multiple sources confirmed she was, and then those same sources confirmed she was not coming, and then there was no special guest.
Maybe she got a heads up on what that that speech from Kamala was going to look like.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sort of paying attention to it, like I said I was, and like it seemed like everything was fine-ish. Like, obviously, I saw that there was the whole issue with whether they were going to give, the uncommitted people their 5 minutes that they were requesting, which
they wanted
seemed
two.
Like two.
The speech was about a 2-minute long speech.
So like when I saw that, and then I saw like they said they didn't say no, but they didn't say yes, but they didn't say no. So people were like, it's probably actually going to happen, because they would have just flat out denied them if they weren't going to, actually seriously consider giving it to them. And so I was
According to
like,
Mehdi on that, it was all smoke and mirrors. He's like, they were very clear. They were standing beside their phone. He was ready to take the call at any time. Like the uncommitted movement was like, it could not be more black and white in terms of their communication. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
and
all
they weren't allowed to be seated, by the way, Matt. We learned about an hour ago that they tried to take their seats at the convention on the floor, and they locked arms, but the uncommitteds were not allowed in. So it was really a disappointing turn of events. And with regard to the speech, Lance was rated by Majority Report, and we asked from the viewers to kind of gauge how Matt and Emma felt. Same as us. The temperature check, same everywhere it seems, based on, our preliminary look at what people are saying.
oh boy. All right. I mean, I don't know why anyone thought anything differently, but
Yeah.
there was that feeling that maybe this time, we are Charlie Brown kicking the football, going to kick that football every time.
Yeah.
I
It's such an apt metaphor.
I gotta say, like, and we've all discussed this before, like, seeing, like, I am obviously away, haven't been paying full attention to what's going on, but I was just like, everything's looking pretty upbeat. It seems pretty good. It seems like, obviously this isn't some sort of leftist candidate, and we're not going to have a complete change around. And I didn't expect them to, like, stop arming, what's going on in Gaza, like Israel. But I did assume that there was going to be reaching out to those people here in the U.S. who care and are tried and true Democrats, like these uncommitted voters are. I mean, I cover this shit day in and day out, and I didn't fucking plan a Disney trip during this shit. These people went to Chicago to be there and beg for a speech. Like, these are true blue Democrats.
Yeah.
And like, I do see people online and even in this chat going like, "Oh, you're out of your mind if you think they were going to stick to this the pre-written speech, or you're deluding yourself if you think they were only going to talk for 2 to 5 minutes or whatever. They were going to take advantage of." These are like people who are like literally begging them. I would not be caught dead spending money to fly to Chicago to fucking like literally like beg the Democrats to view me as a human, because I don't fucking feel that way about the Democrats. These are people who look to the Democrats as their one and only chance, and that's what they did. They spent their fucking money to get there. The idea that they would like backstab the Democrats when like literally they're the ones being backstabbed. 40,000, whatever the number of dead in Gaza is now. Like, come on. Like, that's ridiculous.
And they're not saying the same thing about the multiple Republicans who spoke. We're worried about them going off script, saying something, anti-choice.
Yeah, the sheriff today, a Republican sheriff got to speak today. He got like a full 2.5 minutes or whatever.
We had hold on. We got a sheriff. Well, who spoke that shouldn't have
He's
spoke?
the same sheriff that's in that TV ad he's like an ex-Republican sheriff who after January 7th realized like MAGA is dangerous, and then all of a sudden, was like, hey, by the way, we have to stop Trump. He's one of those. Like there was 3 different Republicans who were all in that vein, where it's like it was on, January 6th or whatever that I noticed that like, Donald Trump's a tyrant and all that kind of stuff. So like they got a platform. They got the floor.
I saw
they gave a prime time final day main event slot to Leon Panetta.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leon fucking Panetta. I will say though, every time after the DNC convention, I always feel depressed. And I feel the same as I did in 2020, 2016. So the only difference is this time I'm more disappointed because I thought maybe it won't be as bad. No, it's as bad. So this is nothing new for us as leftists, right? we live here all the time.
I'm okay. So the thing I'm wondering is like, you saw the footage of the people with their fingers in their ears and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Are they just not seeing the same stuff or volume that the rest of us are? Because like, it's one of those things where it's fucking with me. Like in the morning, it's fucking with me to see this juxtaposition every day, and then the bodies, and then the DNC party, and then the fucking carnage again. Like, is that just because this is the leftist bubble people I follow? Is it the social media? Is Twitter just more insidious than like, I just don't get how you can be annoyed at people protesting genocide. Like, just people they seem actually angry.
They are in a bubble though. Like, they're in a bubble. Like, I saw that video of people were reading the names of people who died outside, and people were walking out,
or making fun of them,
closing their ears and like screaming la la la, like they don't care. They don't care. Like these are like, listen, people have to understand, I think, that like, how many people were at this convention? What, 10, 20, 30,000? I have no idea. 50,000? Whatever the number is.
I think like 20,000.
20,000. That's like a drop in the bucket compared to like how many people actually vote. And then even that is a drop in the bucket compared to how many people even are registered to vote. And even that's a drop in the bucket compared to how many people probably live in the country even. Like,
and the unregistered, or sorry, the uncommitted movement, that's hundreds of thousands of votes.
Right.
Like, a demonstrable voting block.
But like the people who go to this thing, they are like I think we think like, oh, like, you know, this is like, you know, we cover this. I went to one. I went to the 2016 one for work. It was my job. My job at the time paid for everything. So I was there. Like, we look at it as like a job, but like there are people who go to this thing like it's like their hobby, like it's fun. This is what they do. They're democratic, like.
I'm gonna be honest with you, that's really weird.
They're democratic toadies.
It's like that whole thing was boring the fuck out of me just to watch on like screens in the background, or just to be able to like make dinner and have to listen to it, and all the jingoism and patriotism and nationalism and USA chants and like sports metaphors. Like I found it profoundly draining, and that was just watching it on TV.
But this is their thing, and that's that audience for it. Like normal people, even normal Democrats, do not go to these things. Like they just don't go to these things. Like and you're not gonna get like obviously leftists or activists or people who share our politics who are hardcore into this. Like they don't go to this other than to protest it. Like there's a very small sliver of progressives and or even leftists or whatever who would even consider spending the money to go to this or get invited to this. Like, you know, you saw who got a speech out of the squad? Just AOC, right? Did Ilhan Omar get to talk? No, right?
Nope.
Did Rashida Tlaib get to talk? No, right? Did even Presley up in Massachusetts, did she even get to talk? No, right?
Nope.
Did she? I mean, and she's even more of like
no, in terms of progressives, it was Bernie and AOC, and I think that was
and that's because
Warren did get to speak, but you know,
no, we're talking Mike, we're talking about progressives here, my friend. No, listen, it sucks because I think she has good politics, but she has horrible political instincts.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and you know, I saw people. I didn't get to watch her speech, so I don't know if this was it, but I saw that there were like she had like an emotional moment up there, and when I saw that photo, I don't know if I am reading too much into something based on a still image of the speech and what people were saying about it, but all I could think when I saw that was, you know, she's up there definitely thinking, fuck, this should have been me. What an idiot I am to not have run in 2015, 2016. This would have been my moment.
Yeah.
And I'm not even in the consideration for this. My time is gone. I'm not even a Bernie Sanders leading a movement. I'm just like, we all like Elizabeth Warren. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I think you're right about that. I didn't see the speech either, but
she'll have like at least as a senator, like she has some great moments or whatever, and you know, people will, you know, I watch her grilling, you know, finance CEOs and stuff. She's definitely, but in terms of like sort of like a movement figure that will have a long-standing influence. I don't think I think she could have been, and she definitely had all the abilities to do that. I really liked her, but I think her moment is gone, and then she's not going to be that.
She blew it. Although to her credit, she did make a JD Vance couch fucking joke. So you know.
I mean, once the actual guy on the ticket is making it, and anyone else making it is sort of second tier. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's over now. It's over now. The magic is gone.
The only thing that'll beat that is if Kamala herself makes the joke. Then it'll be like, okay.
That's true. Yeah. So how have you been though? Are you enjoying yourself out there?
Yeah, man, it's nice. It was good to take the kids and just unplug. You know, I needed it. Like this past,
Yeah.
like for the first time ever, I felt this way, and I've talked about this on my stream. I probably talked about it on Leftist Mafia stream. Like this has been like the first time, and I've covered the craziest shit, the craziest like reactionary groups. Like I said, I've been in the field covering stuff. I've been in the most gross, disgusting, perverted, sort of
Perverted.
like world online. And I'm talking about like, when I was covering incels and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like the things these people say are perverted. It's gross. the way like
It's
these
true.
people, yeah. And this was the first time where like, because of what's happening in Gaza, that I was like, oh my God, I actually feel like legitimately worn out and drained. Like I can't do this. And like people might have noticed that like I haven't been as active online for a while. Like almost the whole beginning of the summer, I was barely doing anything other than my stream. There was like weeks that went by when I didn't even like send a single tweet. And for me, that's crazy. And I was just like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to argue with people about like the humanity of a child living in like Rafah or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's not an argument I want to have. There's no, I don't want to make that case. The case is made. They're a human being whose life matters. And so I needed to do this vacation, and I was feeling like totally actually sort of like rejuvenated. I was ready to like get back into it like 100%, and I'm still planning on doing that. But like today, I've been just like, because I don't like to completely unplug, because then I also don't like feeling like I'm like completely divorced from reality. So even when I go on vacation, I do check in every now and then. And like what I was seeing over the past couple of days, not super like fantastic. I'm not jumping in the air, clicking my heels, but I was like, not bad. All right, we'll get back into this. Everything seems to be going positively or headed in that direction. And today happened. And it's like, can I extend this vacation?
Yeah, you're never gonna want to come home.
Yeah, like it's like, it's so simple. All you have to do is give them a speech. So simple.
That's it.
What do you think a sitting state senator who is a registered Democrat is going to say? And the woman who is going to speak, she's in Georgia, right?
Yeah, a swing state.
Yeah.
Is that not crazy?
But it's also not even like, oh, like she could say anything and like her constituency would vote for her. We can't punish her in any way. Well, I don't know her constituency, but this isn't like, we're not talking about like Rashida Tlaib's district. Like we're not talking about like Dearborn, Michigan or something. Like she was going to give a completely good, fine speech based on what I saw, because also she has to worry about her own political reality of being able to be the politician who's able to stand up for her own people. Like she's not going to throw that away. She understands how important her position is.
Well, what's crazy is she, for the past 10 years, has explained that she's helped register Arabs and Muslims, and they helped to flip the state blue. Like, she's part of that coalition. So, like, the DNC should be paying her to speak, but instead they're like, nope, not even gonna give you 2 minutes.
They're gonna regret this one. I mean, I've been saying this for the whole year. They're gonna regret this big time. I don't think there's gonna be obviously any like political, like electoral backlash this year because of the reality of the situation with Trump, but they are definitely going to, like, this is going to be a stain on their history. Like, obviously this doesn't help people today and now, and it's not going to help people over the next couple of months or years or whatever. But people are going to look back at this moment in the same way that people look back at how Mandela was treated. This is I'm not saying anyone, not making the direct comparison to anyone is Mandela here, but you know what I'm saying. Like, people are going to look back and be like, these were the people who supported apartheid. They should be shunned.
Israel already killed the Nelson Mandela figure too.
Yeah.
Right.
Doctor.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm glad you're getting to kind of unplug and spend time with your family. That's nice.
Yeah,
yeah. Is your wife looking out the window right now of the hotel, just like, what the fuck is he doing? And you're like strolling around, broadcasting the Leftist Mafia.
Well, because I was gonna set up my computer really quick in the bedroom, but the kids are sleeping. I don't want to wake them up. It's a small hotel room.
This is a magical background. I feel like I'm on vacation.
I know.
So I'm like, I'll go outside. I gotta go to the lobby anyway to get something to drink. And I was like, I looked. I saw you guys were still streaming, and I literally, actually, I did catch that your guest, and I was like, oh, you had a cat on. That's awesome. I'm not there. That sucks. I wanted to. That would have been great and but I'm glad I was able to phone in really quick and talk to you guys, because
we also had Mehdi Hassan on, Matt.
He was on.
He was on for
like
second.
a 2-second guest star. Yeah, he just popped in. He's like, "Hey."
Wait, he popped in the StreamYard.
Kat was with him, and she's like, "Do you want to say hi?" And he looked into the camera, seemed confused, but he was a guest.
He's like, "Hello."
Wait, she's there at the DNC, right?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
And she took the time out to spend with you guys.
She
for
took
like
a lot of time out, like
2-3
hours. I think she wanted a break from the whole thing. She was so burnt out. She'd gotten like 3 hours of sleep. Like they seem like super intense schedules, because like I think they were napping there too, which is kind of intense.
She said they slept on the concrete because she was there all night with the uncommitted delegates.
Yeah, protesting.
Yeah,
that's it sucks. Like it really sucks that. And then what you guys told me, because I didn't see, I couldn't, I've been paying attention to what's been going on, because the sort of push to get a Palestinian speaker on stage has been throughout, over the past day or so. I know it started like last night when they got the word that there was going to be, that they got a no or something. But I didn't get to see any of Kamala's speech or read about it. And then you're telling me that like, she all of a sudden turned into like a hardcore like Bush era like Warhawk. That's not good.
Yeah, she summoned her inner Kissinger, which is never something you want to do as a politician. I'm being hyperbolic, of course, but it just was really it was off-putting and a little disappointing, to be honest.
I found it frightening.
I mean, I didn't exactly expect anything different, but like for her to like include it in her speech is actually more worrisome, because if they're smart enough not to say something and then they are like, that's just their position, but then they go out and say it, that means they're going to be even like, feel like they have the ability to do even more than maybe they would have if they didn't say anything at all. Like, oh, you know what you got when you got me, but who knows? It's hard to tell with what they think. A lot of times, they're so obsessed with the idea that there is this large faction of people who like certain things about Trump when it comes to immigration and like crime or the crime rhetoric, but they're winnable is absurd to me.
Yeah,
absurd to me. And like, listen, like the sheep in that audience are going to cheer and clap for whatever they fucking put on stage. So they could easily put a Palestinian on stage and there'd have been no backlash or whatever they think they were going to get, because that audience will cheer for whatever.
The Gaza line got very loud applause.
Yeah, for the Gaza line.
Yeah, the most I would say the most, like the entire war part, that was the most applause that anything got.
Yeah.
Wait, what did she say?
She basically talked about Israel defending itself. We'll never give up on Israel. But then there was a moment where she mentioned Gaza and the suffering, and she talked about the famine. I don't know if she used the word famine, but maybe hunger or something of that nature. And when she mentioned Gaza, it got a lot of applause when she said ceasefire. The crowd, because the crowd, I think they get the sense that, oh, this is a liability for her. Everybody can see, even like Harry Sisson.
Oh yeah, clearly.
That the guy who I think, I'm not sure if he's on the DNC payroll, but he's a Democratic Party influencer. And like months ago, he was talking about, Biden has lost the support of young people because of Gaza. So everybody knows that this is a liability for her. So I think that they're hoping that what she says will, mend the divide. But that they don't really know more than that, right? Like they kind of just want us to be placated, so we shut the fuck up, and so Palestinians feel seen, and then can move along. But it's not that simple, and I don't think that they realize it.
Do you want the quote, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay. I helped mobilize a global response, over 50 countries, to defend against Putin's aggression. And as president, I will stand strong with Ukraine and our NATO allies. With respect to the war in Gaza, President Biden and I are working around the clock because now is the time to get a hostage deal and ceasefire done. Let me be clear. I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself because the people of Israel must never again face the horror that the terrorist organization Hamas caused on October 7th. Including unspeakable sexual violence and the massacre of young people at a music festival. And then at the same time, what happened in Gaza over the past 10 months is devastating. So many innocent lives lost, desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety over and over again. And that's the paragraph.
That's horrible. That's not even good.
Yeah.
Right. You should have saw her faces during that moment. Kat looked just devastated, because she's been up all night. Just
she gave a stronger speech that first time around when it was a couple days after she basically shored up what was it? Like it was obvious she was going to be the one. Remember that one? Like the first time she spoke about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a good speech. That was a good speech.
It was better.
That was a good speech for her. Yeah. This one is horrible. It was really bad. Really bad.
Yeah. A lot of people have that feeling on the left. I'm sure that the liberals are going to think that we broke the ceasefire. But look, we're trying, man. We're trying. We could argue that Kamala broke the ceasefire by not letting a Palestinian speak.
Oh no,
okay.
Kalinski's already fucking firing on all cylinders on Twitter right now.
Oh, what's he saying?
Playing both sides on Israel, doing a genocide and warmongering on Iran. Pathetic.
Yeah, look, he's not
absolutely
wrong.
insane that she had a line about the sexual violence of Hamas when it's reported and shown on video that Israel is systematically raping Palestinians at concentration camps. And he's got another. Sorry.
I do have to say it is amazing though that they keep using that line after it all came out. They'll do the both sides are suffering, but then only mention this stuff in relation to Israel. They never bring up the specific suffering of the Palestinians, but they'll both sides it for the Palestinians.
I feel like mainstream media in the UK, like Channel 4, exposed people, like everyday people, to the actual rape and torture camps. But I think like US media has done as thorough a job, or at least it doesn't seem like a thing that I would assume if most people knew about it, they would be like, oh shit, okay, we gotta stop this agreement or arrangement that we have with this other nation right now. There's rape and torture camps,
right?
That should be a oh shit moment.
If she was going to bring up sexual violence, I would have been at least a little bit happier if she both sides did, right? And she talked about that the Israeli rapist who unmasked himself after he got so much support because he was feeling really confident after raping Palestinians. Like, give us anything but what the fuck you said. Like, it's so...
They're still debating it. They're still debating like the merits of rape, like within the Knesset as well. Like that, it's on television. That dude is on mainstream television in the country talking about like the merits of what he did. It's so profoundly fucked up.
Yeah.
I just don't understand like why it's so like it will still forever baffle me how everyone's just talking about this stuff as if it's like just a normal. I'm not even talking about this specific stuff, like the specific cases you're bringing up. I'm just talking about the general everything of what's going on there. Why it's okay for them to just annihilate an entire place for any reason whatsoever. It just doesn't add up to me. It doesn't add up to me. It's like no one's gonna step in and be like, you can't do this. Like, no one's gonna step in and do that. No one.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Well,
disappointing.
It's my birthday in 2 minutes.
Happy birthday!
Is it actually?
Yeah, August 23rd is my birthday. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, buddy. Man!
Thank you. Yeah, that's why it's not why I'm here, but that's but we sort of try to even like line it up so like I am not working on my birthday too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, chat. So I'll wish man a happy birthday.
Yeah, everybody. Spam happy birthday.
I'm so glad my birthday's on Friday and not one of the Monday through Thursday days of the DNC. What a horrible gift that would have been.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Now you have a whole weekend to decompress.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna honestly, I was thinking of like grabbing clips of speeches when I got back and doing a episode like, just like I didn't expect it to be all hunky dory, but I didn't expect it to be this. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not. I'm never gonna watch any of this. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
But at
It's depressing and boring.
At the same time, though, like that's it too. Like these conventions are totally, like people talk about like how like conventions in like obviously lower stakes sort of hobbies and niches, like comic book conventions or anime convention, like that stuff matters. Video game conventions, that stuff matters less now in the age of the internet, where like these companies don't need to wait to have some yearly annual big events come around so that they can speak to the gaming audience and break all their news. They could just fucking do that any moment they want online and reach even more people than they could. Like the idea of a political convention is so like out of date now. It's so unimportant, and you could tell because like think about like the last one that mattered. It's the one where in 2004, in my opinion, in terms of like what came out of it. In 2004, in my opinion, when Obama gave that speech as a state senator, which basically propelled him onto the national stage, and 4 years later, he's the one accepting the nomination. What moment since then has stuck out at any of these conventions? Nothing. No one has come out of these. No one has been made there's been no like king making at these conventions since then. It's just fluff. None of it matters. It's complete garbage, which makes it even more ridiculous that they couldn't give someone, a group of people who said this would mean a lot to us, the 2 goddamn minutes, honestly, because these conventions mean
Who had what, 33
anymore.
delegates? Is that how many? Like that's a lot of fucking delegates to bring to the convention. You can't just ignore them.
We're gonna try.
Right.
Like even if it's like you can't trust someone because they're going to say something into a microphone, then what about a pre-recorded video that you played? Like you played so many other pre-recorded videos of other people. You could have just had a video that it's already approved what is going to be said. There's nothing wrong that can happen outside of like you intentionally wanted to silence them.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, it's over.
Yeah, the honeymoon's over.
It's
Yep.
over.
It's officially over.
Yeah.
It was a lot more fun getting back on, focusing on knocking Republicans and the right. But I guess that's always more fun because they're.
Oh, it's always more fun.
Yeah.
Looks like we're back to shitting on Democrats and Republicans again, and pissing off the liberals. It's funny because I think like the cycle of leftist influencers is we shit on Republicans and Trump, and we build up a bunch of libs in our audience. And then we start
the first
shitting
time
on
you ever go after
Democrats.
libs. Yeah.
And then they're like, what the fuck? You see your subs drop.
It always goes like that.
It goes up and down, up and down.
It is a bit of a yo-yo.
That's been the trajectory of my channel and probably everyone else's for like fucking so long, and it's so hilarious.
Based on the alliances at the time.
Yeah, it's like
because like I care a lot more about issues than I do like cults of personality, right? Like don't get me wrong, we all get sucked into them. The Sanders campaign or the AOC campaigns, you get sucked into it. But like as soon as they start really betraying the values that you're fighting for, you're like, yeah, I care less. I'm not like a party guy. I'm not like I'm represented by I got an elephant tattoo on my arm.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's what these things are for. Like, that's what these things are for. Like, they're not meant to be it's just, it's not like even like set in stone. It's just like where the party claims they want to be headed or says they're headed. And it's not like it's like a binding contract. It means nothing. It's just an event for these guys to get together and canoodle and network and party and, with the whole tradition of nominating the person and having all the states represented there and have their delegates. Like even to be a delegate, like you gotta go pay money to get there. Like it's ridiculous. Like this is not like a thing that really honestly is like necessary in the current day. It's just not. And it's just like a thing for show now. And there's a lot of politicians who come out of this who we like that never step foot on the DNC stage and are like, you know, you say what you want about AOC, but she didn't come up in this world. She became you know, a member of Congress on her own, running a grassroots campaign. She didn't come through this system. It's not like, you know, she needed to do this stuff to get there. You know, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, we have them, and they're, you know, it's not like they had to go through all this stuff. It's like it's just not necessary today. But people do this because it's fun. This is their again, like I started when I first came on. This is a hobby for some people, so they're going to boo anyone who tries to ruin their fun night. Like that's what it is. Like a lot of these people aren't here for politics in terms of like the way like activists are. They're just not. They're here to celebrate. It's a celebration for them. It's like, you know, it's like someone going to Comic-Con or me going to Disney World. it's like a fun little thing for them, except the only difference is like you know, the kids on It's a Small World aren't making policy that's going to affect affect everyone. Like you know, but apparently their faves are politicians who actually do and you know pass policy that changes people's lives.
So I don't know if this is if Juniper is trolling, but she she shared a DM
troll.
of her and Don Lemon saying, "Hi Don Lemon,
it's
George W. Bush is going to be speaking at the DNC," with a response saying, "Wow." I don't know if she said that, but if she was his source, I think it's probably not a real.
I don't think it's real at all. You can't trust her. She's too crafty.
The thought is fucking hilarious, though. I want to believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we get to super chats? Matt, do you want to stick around for a little bit, or are you gonna get to bed? It is your birthday. You get to do what you want.
Only because I can't really. Do I have to? Do I have any? I can't even tell, honestly.
Well, we won't be able to tell. David left as well, so I was just kind of going through all of them. I'm just gonna rush through them pretty quickly because we've got.
I have to take off pretty shortly, so I can't stay for all of them.
Yeah, it's already a late night. I do see some people who gave me birthday super chats, so I'll Cosmere Dragon give this to Matt for his birthday. Thank you, John Jeffrey. Happy B-Day to the Bindmeister. Thank you, I appreciate that. That's all I see on my end because they don't show too many chats on this app. Oh, SK says, "Happy birthday, Matt. You and your kids have a great time. It's crazy how good an escape that place is." It is. Like you are secluded from the rest of the world in ways that I cannot explain, that you cannot replicate anywhere else. Although it was pretty funny because I was reading that story. I know Disney has since backtracked, but that news broke like what was it, a couple days ago, and like we had just gotten here, and it was like Disney says that man whose wife died on their property cannot sue because he signed up free trial on Disney Plus, and I was like, oh no, if something happens to me here, I signed that binding contract.
That shit is crazy. Do you hear they did back down from that though after getting such bad PR?
They did. Very smart of them. I mean, I would, you know what happens? Like these the law firms they hire, they fucking do this shit on their own, and then the backlash comes. I mean, it's on Disney for hiring these lawyers, but like, first thing I would do is be like, fucking find me new lawyers. What idiots? Why would you do that? You know that's gonna get out, and that's probably the worst sounding thing ever. Like on top of it all, the actual case seems very likely that they weren't even gonna lose it because it happened at a restaurant that's owned by a third party that just basically rents space on Disney property. Like it's in Disney Springs, which isn't the theme park. It's like their like big like mall area.
Oh yeah, they own lots and lots of property too.
Yeah, so like it probably would have got the Disney side of it probably would have got tossed out, and the family would just be suing the actual restaurateur, like the restaurant owner, because that's not Disney. So the idea that they even got involved in that is ludicrous, and they're gonna like pay for it. And good, like that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard in my life. Yeah, one meme had it perfectly. They used that that meme of the guy like cutting a deal. You know what I'm talking about? It's like this guy in the middle of a screen, and it's like on one side my offer, and on the other side like what you get or something like that. And it was like the offer was like, for you, one one episode of The Mandalorian. For me, the life of your wife. And I was like, oh my god,
Man.
it's like, damn, like that's like, but it's the truth. Like, how ridiculous? How ridiculous? That's got to be one of the. They'll be teaching that case for years, and just how not to handle that stuff. Also,
Yeah.
I can't imagine a judge upholding that. The idea that like you a company, a conglomerate that has their fingers in so many different cookie jars
Oh yeah.
would be able to say like what happens in one industry that we are in would affect a completely different industry that we're in. Like you know, like I can't imagine that have been able to stand up to scrutiny, but it doesn't have to anymore.
Yeah,
Also true.
that's a very bizarre story. Okay, so I'll run through these as quick as I can. There's kind
All
of a
right,
lot.
y'all. I'm gonna bounce. Have an
Yeah.
awesome vacation, Binder,
Take
and I
care.
rated you, Mike.
Yo.
So
Oh, thank you.
enjoy the
Zia,
viewers.
take care. Zia in the chat says, Matt's family is wondering if he's lost right now. They probably are wondering where I am right now. So, Mike, it was a pleasure joining you guys. I'm so glad
It
I
was
got to
nice to
spend.
see you, man.
Yeah, I think I spent like 45 minutes, an hour on here with you guys. I got to
Yeah.
spend 11 of the first minutes of my 38th birthday with you guys.
We're
It's been
so privileged.
So I will be back in just a few days. I will be missing no more of my own streams, no more Leftist Mafias, no more Majority Ports. The rest of my vacation are regular days that I don't stream anyway. So I will see you all really soon, and
Yes.
have a
Have a very
great
happy
night.
birthday.
Thank you. Good night,
Yeah,
everybody.
enjoy. Okay, so here's where we're at. I'm gonna run through these quickly because I'm tired and I want to get out of here. So with that being said, I don't know who these are for. Matt, David, myself. I'm just gonna thank you as if they were my own, and we'll close out the show. So Autistic Goblin, $5. Why is he talking so slowly? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I think that's about Mark Kelly. Yeah. JC in with $5. Thank you. Can you please put a pic of Entrance from Crash Bandicoot next to Mark Kelly? I'm blanking on that character, but I'll have to look that up. There's a similarity. Omega Shenron with $5. Thank you. Mega off topic. Where are you at One Piece, Mike? I just reached Zoo, loving lost character, and got Pirate Warriors 4. By the way, Mark and Joseph should stay the fuck home. So I'm towards the end of Dressrosa. I won't say anything other than that because I don't want to spoil it. Very long arc, but it's episode almost 800. So that's where I'm at. Julian Bonfiglia with $1.99. Holy shit, no wonder he wasn't picked. Jesus. Yeah, referring to Mark Kelly, I believe. Philip Schwartz with $2. Mark Kelly is Democrat Dr. Evil. Jacqueline Leitch with $6.99. Thank you. It's a problem that Kamala thinks God is a heavy that she can appeal to. Yeah, the religious rhetoric at the DNC was a turnoff to me as an atheist. But you know, if it speaks to other people, then that's fine. But I personally do not like hearing about that. The Lumped Lodge with $2. I'm a disabled veteran, sick of being used as a prop. Yeah, I wouldn't blame you for that, Lumped Lodge. JCast with $5. Thank you, JCast. If carrots got you drunk, rabbits would be fucked up. All right. Sam with $2. Thanks, Sam. Jimmy Harrison has to go and leave his spot. Yeah, I hope Kamala replaces him if she wins. That he's not a good DNC chair. To be fair, no DNC chair is very good. Sebi Saurus with $5. Thank you. How much say does Harris have in the convention? She's the nominee, but Biden is still the head of the party, so I assume he's calling the shots. I'm not honestly sure. Excuse me, my voice cracked. I'm getting tired and my throat is dry. I don't really know. I don't think it's a 50-50 split, but I think that Harris is the de facto leader now of the Democratic Party. So I think that the leeway she has is very strong, and ultimately she gets to call the shots. So if she says that I want Rua to speak, she can do that. So that's my understanding. If anybody is like a DNC insider and has other info, then feel free to let me know. B Wood, thanks for the $10. Very generous. Would like to wish Binder and my friend Jenny a happy early birthday for tomorrow. Hope Binder is enjoying his time off from the Leftist Mafia. Very kind of you, and happy birthday to Jenny. Tunbosin with $5. Thank you so much. Shout out to Kat and Garrison by extension for the hard work on Mother May I Jones. Yeah, we love Kat. Thanks for the gifted Humanist Report membership, John. Appreciate you. Zia Spots with $10, very generous. When are they going to let Palestinians and Palestinian Americans share the same stage? Glad for hostage families saying ceasefire, but Palestinians need their own voices heard as well. Dem Party, do better, please. Couldn't have said it better myself, Zia. Michael Weaver with $10. Thank you. Question for everyone. Did Kamala just lose the election because she didn't let a Palestinian speaker at the convention for 5 minutes? And if there's a way out, how does she split from Biden before November? I don't know that she would... I don't think that this is going to cost her the election per se, but it's certainly not going to help her. I'll put it that way. How does she split? She just has to come out and be clear about how she would be different on this issue. I don't really have hope that she's going to do that, though, to be honest, but I hope that she proves me wrong. Tokyo Hans with 500 yen, thank you so much. Mike appointed the new position of head of elder abuse affairs. Koya Demon with $2. Thank you. Please tell me you saw JD Vance at the donut shop. I did. Check out my tweet. I tweeted about his fucked up haircut. Somebody zoomed in on his hair. Somebody fucked him up badly. So putting aside the cringe, the haircut, oh. Ryan Lennon fan with $2. That cop from earlier is a Pizzagate QAnoner. Lol. Is he really? I can't confirm that, but that would be interesting if it's true. Thank you for the super sticker, PXS. And the 25. Wow. Not sure who this is for, but very, very kind. Watch the video American Communists March for Class War by the RCA to wake back up after this. All right. Emo Dragon with $4.99. Nice to see you, Emo Dragon. Really feeling foolish that I believe Harris might actually bring the uncommitted folks into the fold. Also, yay, Kat. She does amazing work like you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think that it's foolish to be optimistic or to hope for better things. I think that makes you human, right? And I think that it's good to have that instinct, even if sometimes, we're too optimistic. I think that hanging on to hope is really important, not to sound corny like the speakers of the DNC, but don't ever feel down on yourself for, like, thinking that a better world is possible, because it is. But yeah, I do feel what you're saying, though, Emo Dragon, for sure. Tokyo Hans, 200 yen, thank you. DNC equals America World Police. RNC, Idiocracy. That's very well said, Tokyo. Mike Thompson with $2, so disappointed. Yeah, me too. Asymptomatic behavior, $5. Unfortunately, Kamala is going to cave to the warmongers and dance to the war drums. You know, if that speech isn't any indication, sure, but as Kat was saying, hopefully she's pulling a Jimmy Carter. Again, maybe copium. Maybe I'm being overly optimistic. I'm crossing my fingers, right? Charlie the Jinmer with $5. Thank you so much. Can't help but feel the Dem rhetoric about distractions from what matters was referring to Gaza as the distraction. I wouldn't necessarily say that. At least I hope that that's not what they're saying. But it's, I understand why you have that takeaway because, Palestinian Americans have been shunned. So that's a problem that the Democratic Party created and only one that they can fix. So if you feel that way, I don't blame you. Mr. Hoosteen with $5. I'll be honest, I'm worried. I know things are strong for Kamala, but where do we go from here as voters? Plus, as somebody who wants to avoid Trump again. There's nothing we can do as individuals, right? We only have one vote collectively, and that vote is really going to make a difference in about 7 or 8 states. So as individuals, we're limited. But having said that, though, we don't know if this is going to affect her in the way that we think it is. Again, from our point of view, the speech was bad. But from the view of an average American, the question is, how would they interpret it? And I genuinely, I don't know. So I would say don't be too doom and gloom yet. We genuinely don't know. Usually candidates get a post-convention bump. Worst case scenario, she doesn't get a post-convention bump. We don't know. Either way, this is going to be a close race. Polls will tighten before the race. So just, buckle up because it's going to be a really long and exhausting 75 days or so until the election. But, don't get too doom and gloom. None of us can predict the future. Autistic Goblin with $10. Thank you. I guess the joy wave is over. I need some more of that copia. Yeah, me too. Listen, Tim Walz, that's what's kind of keeping me going, feeling optimistic. I think that Tim Walz, that's one thing to hang on to. That is a very important thing. It's not everything, but it's something. So hang on to copium. Any hope or cope that you could find, grab it and hang on to it. Because I, for one, I don't think it's healthy for us to all retreat back into doomerism. It's hard not to, right? But if you can hang on to something that keeps you going, don't be afraid to do that. One-Eyed Heathen, $5. Just want to say thanks for covering the DNC. You're welcome. On the whole, I am encouraged and hopeful Trump will be defeated. Harris Walz 2024. I hope that you are absolutely right. I'm rooting for Kamala to win for sure. I hope Trump loses. I'm with you there. John Jeffrey with $2. Progressive Voice wants you to know with Pelosi. Or no. Wants to YKW with Pelosi. I don't know what that acronym is. What is that acronym? I'm not sure. Progressive Voice, he has been trolling so hardcore, but I can't deny that his trolling is very, very funny. Be Calm, See Clearly with $5. Thank you. I'm just tired of all them protect us. When they get power, use it. I swear if they don't use it and we elect them, I'm going independent. Listen, I will say that as a leftist, I feel your frustration. This is just part of the process. Being perpetually frustrated as a leftist is just part of being a leftist, right? And you have to understand you're fighting a behemoth. You're fighting a power structure. As Ole says, you are, every election you're picking who your opponent's going to be. So the frustration is part of the process, but understand you're not alone in this frustration. We're all with you feeling the same exact way. So, just try to not let it get you down. But I 100% understand where you're coming from. Brenner with $1.99. Thank you. Bernie's speech was savage. His speech was good. It was very, it was typical Bernie speech. I've seen a lot. You've seen one, you've seen them all, but it was good. Elise Bulk with $5. Thank you. You seen the Trump aggro on T Social? No, I haven't. I know he's been tweeting up a storm on Truth Social. So yeah, he's gonna be going wild next couple of days, especially if they do get a post election or a post convention pump. Kaylee O'Hara with $5. Thank you. After that speech, I'm canceling the elections. America doesn't deserve another season. Yeah. Hopefully the season finale of this election won't be as bad as the season itself, right? 885 Ramos with $5. Thank you. I will say that I am very leftist, and for some reason I never get the videos that I know others are getting. So I don't know what a liberal gets. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. The Omnivore with $2. Did you see the Guardian guy freak out on Channel 5? I have not. I'll have to check that out though. SK with $10. Very generous. Thank you. Harris DNC made clear how much they value Palestinian and Muslim Americans and what place they have in the party. There's no daylight between Harris and 11 months of Biden and State Department gaslighting. Yeah, I mean, the best that we can do at this point is hope that she's going to be better. And as Kat said, pull a Jimmy Carter. I'm gonna try to huff that copium. No guarantee. I'm cautiously more skeptical than mystic. But we'll wait and see, right? Chris Corcoran with $5. As frustrating parts of her speech were, I hope that we continue to pressure her to listen to us. It feels bleak, but we can't give up now. Absolutely. I think that's such a great thing to say, Chris, because even if it feels like, we're not going to make a difference at all, you never stop fighting. And I think that the left is good about that. If there's one thing that we're good at, it's always being pissed off. And just remember the family separation policy during the Trump administration. Remember when Trump administration officials couldn't have a single meal in peace? because they're being disrupted by DSA activists and leftists and even some liberals. I think that, regardless of who wins, we're not going to stop fighting. That is true for every single election. And this one is no different, of course. The fight might not be as difficult if Kamala is elected, and we might have a little bit more influence if she's elected, but there's no guarantees, right? There's no guarantee that we can push her left. There's no guarantee that we'll have any say whatsoever. But is she going to be an easier opponent than Trump? I think she will be. Yeah. I think she'd do a lot less than Trump would do in terms of marginalizing the left, right? He doesn't give a fuck about what we have to say. SK with $5. She left absolutely no levers to check Netanyahu. She won't stand up to AIPAC that allows him to lead us to a regional war and murder Palestinians. Yeah, very disappointing. Even a line about saying, I'll follow international law wasn't there. Not even a signal. So yeah, I was very disappointed. SK again with $5. Thank you. The smart thing would have been to have a unity task force a la Biden, Bernie in 2020. Have Tlaib, AOC, Bernie, and Zionist Democrats write a platform. I think that would have happened if there was time, but since there was no primary, that's why we that's why we didn't get that. But it's a good idea. SK again, $5. Thank you. She can't even say 40,000 Palestinians reported killed, including over 10,000 identified children, or forced starvation. She just calls it suffering. Yeah, it's a very mention it and move on so I get credit. You know what I mean? It felt like an afterthought. It would have been nice to get that number. Cosmere Dragon with $5. Thank you so much. Give this to Matt for his birthday. Will do. John Jeffrey with $10. Happy birthday to the Binmeister. Thank you so much. 0P with $4.99. Thank you so much. Watch for years from now. Lots of shit libs will act like me. They were on the right side of this when it's evident they weren't. Zero, you are 1,000% right. You're so right. Part of being a leftist is being right about everything before everyone else and then never getting credit. We just experienced this. Remember, we were like, hey, Biden should drop out. And then they were saying, all the liberals were saying, oh, you support Donald Trump. And then once Biden drops out, it's like, oh my God, I'm so glad he dropped out. And then we were saying, actually, he shouldn't pick Josh Shapiro. He should pick she should pick Tim Walz and not Josh Shapiro. Liberals were saying, no, it's got to be Josh Shapiro. She picks Tim Walz, and everybody's like, oh my God, this is a great pick. Obama's like, I love that guy. We never get credit. This is, this is the eternal struggle of us leftists, right? SK with $5. Happy birthday, Matt. You and your kids have a great time. It's crazy how good an escape that place is. Yeah. I'm jealous. SK with $5. We need legislation to end arbitration clauses, or at least make it easy as clicking a button to opt out. Can't believe the lawyer lobby allows. Yeah. That's the bare minimum, SK. Kowalski with $2. Thank you. Still holding down the fort, I see. Good on you. Thank you so much, Kowalski. I'm here. Chris Corcoran with $5. Thank you. This speech felt very AIPAC influenced. Plus, it feels like the last gasp of the Democratic Party she's seemingly breaking from. DNC certainly approved it. Yeah. I'll say it was a safe speech for a Democrat. It's what you expected. I think Emma Vigeland put it best on Twitter, saying it's boilerplate, right? Which is not what we need right now. John Jeffrey, thank you for the $1. Anupam with $4.99. Appreciate that. Biden said nothing would fundamentally change and supported good NLRB, realigned party with unions, hopefully similar jump with Trump. That's a really great point. Biden was pleasantly surprising to me on domestic policy, I will say. Lots of disappointments, frustration with, him not pushing the centrists in the party or the right-wingers in the party like Manchin and Sinema. But yeah, pleasantly surprised by, FTC pick, NLRB. Unpleasantly surprised on Gaza. But, when it comes to the drone war, he ended that effectively. Afghanistan, he pulled out. So Biden was better than I thought in some ways, worse than I could have imagined in other ways, namely Gaza. So, not all hope is lost. I'm going to say that. My focus will be on just defeating Trump these next couple of months. Once we get past Trump, then I think that the left really needs to come up with a plan to put pressure on Harris. There needs to be an inside-outside strategy. We need people inside, like AOC, trying to work with her, and then you need outside agitators always trying to make sure that they push for the best possible thing. Last but not least, no, there's a couple more. Elise Balk with the $5. Trump won't accept Kamala certifying the election in the Senate. Yeah, he's not going to accept the results. So we've got to buckle up for a shit show in Georgia in particular. That could be a shit show if it's close, and it probably will be. So it's going to be a really, really exhausting week or two, if not longer, after the election. Even if Kamala wins, right? If Trump wins, it's going to be a nightmare. If Kamala wins, we have to worry about the fuckery like last time. SK with $2. Thank you so much. Keeping your head up is inspiring. I'll try, man. Absolutely. Never, ever be down on yourself for trying to, like, be optimistic. You know, sometimes it's easy to beat yourself up because there's so much bad things going on in the world. But if you can find some joy and hopefulness, I don't think that it's a bad thing to do that, right? Look out for yourself as well while still being empathetic. And last but not least, we have Kowalski with $2. Good luck and good night. Thank you so much, Kowalski. That is very kind of you. Without further ado, let me go over to Twitch. And I'm going to find somebody to raid if they're still up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's still quite a bit of people. So let's go ahead and raid Frogun, because Frogun is live. Or Frogen. I'm thinking of Frogun, the video game. But look, it's been really nice. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. We will see you all next week. And everyone will be back next week. So we'll have a regular show and hopefully a guest. But I'll see you all next Thursday. Take care, friends.